Woo! Happy Halloween and welcome into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my wildly handsome, always in costume co-host, John Luke Garofalo. What's up, JL?
What up? That was very spooky.
That was so spooky. I'm spooked out. JL, you looked really good in that image of you right there. Your hair was grown out. You must have had some colored contact lenses in or something.
I was dead.
Is there, for some reason, something that's spooky every time is those like creepy contact lenses. Like you mess with someone's eyes, they instantly go up like 10 spooky levels, even if they're wearing no other part of a spooky costume.
Have you ever worn color contacts?
No, I can't wear contacts. I've tried to wear a contact one time and it did not go well. It was a disaster. I was like, you know what? I'm good with glasses. I'll just wear these for the rest of my life every single day and not have to shove a finger in my eye every morning.
Oh, shove a finger in your eye? You don't shove the finger in your eye. You put the contact in your eye, you ding dong.
Well, I did shove a finger in my eye. It didn't feel good. I don't think I have the delicate touch required for contacts.
That makes sense. That does check out.
We got Maria in the chat saying, "Oh my, spooky!" Yeah, that intro was awesome. And Tommy here, yo, happy Candy Day, Tommy. Glad to have you in here.
Just imagine Tommy going around his neighborhood like by himself, asking for candy,
trick or treating.
Yeah.
Is he wearing a costume, or he just shows up as a grown ass man on the front porch?
He put on eye makeup to look like Derek Carr.
Well,
by the way, speaking of Tommy, sorry about that beat down your Raiders guy yesterday. Oh,
talk about spooky.
Spooky, man. Brutal. 24-0 from the Red Riffle.
It is kind of funny that like the bet that Tommy and Coop made, like Broncos versus Raiders, was very much so like two good teams in their mind. Know what I mean? It was like which team's going to be better. Like they both believe that now it's bottom. Yeah, it's a race to the freaking bottom between those two guys.
It's pretty funny.
Hopefully the Raiders get it together though. I like the Raiders. I want to see them a little bit spookier. Tommy said battle of the suck. Yeah, that's what's going on right here. Loser eats it. Battle of the suck. Loser eats a tomato is what we
Battle of the suck, loser eats a tomato.
We got to get some like 6 shirts, like Battle of the Suck with like flames,
loser
and then the 2 guys, and then and then at the bottom it says loser eats a tomato, like asterisk loser eats a tomato. Greg in here says, "Good morning, all you FYF critters creeping around in the early morning shadows."
Morning, partner.
I am creeping around in the early morning shadows, getting ready. I'm not used to being the person in the household that's awake first. Okay. Like this morning show has completely changed my routine on that front. I'm used to being the one who's like, turn off the alarm, like being a little bitch and making someone else like crawl around in the shadows. But now I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I can't turn a light on. That's rude. I can't make a noise. That's like I'm tiptoeing around in the dark. I get out here and I just hope what I put on is my own shirt. Since I haven't seen it until I step out of my bedroom.
Yeah, you're trying to pick out your wardrobe in the dark.
That's why I always have the jacket on. Some days it's tighter than others, depending on the shirt that ends up on my body.
There's just no shirt.
Maria said, crawling in those Baltimore shadows. Now that's spooky. Jill, what happens in those Baltimore shadows?
The Wire gets shot and filmed.
Ah, that's not so spooky. That's a pretty good thing to happen in the shadows.
Yeah, what can I say? They're also filming another Apple TV show near my house. Just in and around my house. It's not Apple TV. Well, The Wire is not Apple TV. That's HBO. This one's called Lady in the Lake. It's with Natalie Portman.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. That sounds spooky.
Lady in a Lake? Lady in the Lake. One of those two. I don't know what they are.
Lady found a lake. It's really just
Lady found. It's a TV show about a travel bloggist.
And she found a lake. It was about her journey to Lake Baikal. She had always wanted to visit it her entire life, and this is the documentary tracking her journey, played by Natalie Portman.
Played by Natalie Portman.
It sounds unbelievable.
Lady in the Lake from Keith.
No, Keith, we're talking about Lady Found the Lake.
Lady Found the Lake.
It's a different movie entirely, but that's
not the same thing. Keith.
That is way cooler than the one thing that got filmed where I grew up, JL. It was like
the Vince Vaughn movie, Neighborhood Watch.
The Watch. They just changed it to The Watch. But yeah, Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, and Ben Stiller, which like you hear those names, and at first you're like, oh, this is going to be a good movie. And then you think about it and you're like, no, it's not. Like before you even see it, if a movie has Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, and Jonah Hill, you're like, yeah,
no, that's too much. It's too many.
Not a good movie.
It's too much and it's too spread apart. You know,
exactly.
Like If it was Jonah Hill and say Seth Rogen, sure. It's like, oh,
Right.
that's probably gonna be a banger.
Yeah, you throw him in there, maybe Jesse Eisenberg, and then you're like, oh, that's an interesting trio. That'll be good. But those three guys, like three loud, funny guys from slightly different genres, it's not going to be
Never
good.
gonna work. Never
Not
gonna
gonna
work.
be good. The only joy in watching that movie was going, hey, I know where that is. Hey, I know
That's
who
a pretty
that is.
big part of it, though. That's a pretty
It
big joy.
is.
Like, I'm gonna watch this TV show and be like, hey, that's near my house, right there.
But then
Hey,
you're also
hey,
going to
look.
be like, hey, that's Natalie Portman. Hey,
Yeah.
this is an awesome show. At least it
Right.
sounds like it's going to be a good one.
That's true. Yeah, Lady Found the Lake.
Craig said, Simon, you did a Batman impression when the lights would come on every time.
Oh, it's me, Batman.
When I
wake up.
When I wake up, I am Batman. When I wake up, my voice is groggy and full of boogers and throat suck and whatever happens in your sleep.
Ew.
Whenever your throat
Suck? What does that mean?
it like because you're breathing in all night, so everything just goes in through your mouth and sucked into your throat, and you've got like groggy throat in the morning when you wake up.
Ew.
Is that just me?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're acting as like an air filter in your room?
I think so.
Are you like HEPA certified or whatever?
No, I think what it is this time of year you get a little extra stuffy in the nose, so you're breathing through your mouth a little bit more, and it dries out your throat. Maybe throat dry is the better word.
Throat dry sounds better than throat suck. Because throat suck makes me think of something else.
Candy on
Yeah.
Candy Day makes you think of a Dum Dum lollipop or something like
Exactly.
that. Guys,
He said Goodfellas was filmed in his neighborhood. Well, when Simon sees it, he'll let you know what your neighborhood looks like.
I'll let you know your neighborhood sucks.
Did you watch a movie this weekend, Simon?
No, I did not watch a movie this weekend.
Bummer.
Did I watch anything this weekend? I don't even know if I turned anything on the TV besides football. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Of course you did.
I watched 2 episodes of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives this weekend. I have a good reason, though. Our friend was dressed up as Guy Fieri for Halloween. At the end of the night, we were like, what better thing to turn on than Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives to close off the night, right? Pretty good.
That is pretty good.
No one was dressed as Goodfellas, the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
And if they were, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you wouldn't know. I don't know how you tell.
Unless they told me. Guys, it is that time of day. It is time to bring your own breakfast. This is the segment where we hang out and we bring topics we want to talk about. NFL related, non-NFL related, whatever we need to talk about bright and early this morning. JL, you got some breakfast you brought for me?
I got some breakfast. I got a little bit of breakfast. I'm drinking OJ. I just finished my everything bagel. Jalapeno cream cheese. It's pretty good.
A nice schmear.
No, nope. You ruined it.
That's what they call it. That's like a New York City thing, right? They call it schmear.
I don't care who says it. It's not right. It is not correct.
Keith said yes. He said yes. I got the confirmation.
What does Keith know?
I saw it in like a TV show or something one time. I'm an expert.
Keith's wrong. Did you see Cooper Kupp got injured yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't see the update. Is he?
The latest I saw was that it's a right ankle is wrapped and he's noticeably limping in the post game.
God, we can't have nice things. Man, yesterday after the 1 p.m. games, it was like nobody's gotten hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like we made it through the 1 p.m. slate.
Ruined it.
We were like, this is a good, like this week has been pretty nice for injuries. Nobody's really gotten hurt. Like the players that did get banged up came back into the game. And then Cooper Kupp, the potentially number 1 overall fantasy wide receiver, gets injured. That's pretty brutal.
That is really brutal. I saw the play. They kept showing it in slow motion. It didn't look great.
Do we have any update from the team as to like what kind of injury it is?
I have not seen anything. I can look that up though.
It looks like I'm seeing from Edwin Porras, FB Injury Doc on Twitter, saying Cooper Kupp will likely be okay. Both ankles actually got twisted up on a classic lateral low ankle sprain, left more than right. Definitely scary, but they'll get him checked out and he should be fine for week 9. He'll work on that ankle all week. Dodged a bullet indeed, Mr. Kupp, is what he says.
Wow. Well, they do have the Bucks this week, so hopefully he'll be back in time for that.
I thought you were going to say, so if he needs to, he can take the week off. I thought you were about to just throw mad shade onto the Bucks.
I should have.
And be like, oh, well, they've got the Bucks this week, so if they need to sit him, they can bench Cooper Kupp. It should be no problem. Taking on the Tom Brady-led Buccaneers.
Dude, the Bucks have looked like poo-poo butt water.
I don't know if they've been butt water for sure. They've been
not poo-poo butt water.
Not poo-poo butt water. I reserve, like, the Raiders have been poo-poo butt water.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers have been butt water though.
That's fair.
Have you seen the butt water video from Tosh.0? It's not, obviously it's from like the internet, but Tosh.0 had it on his show forever ago. It was a guy who would take a hose and he would fill up his butt with water and clench it tight, like squeeze tight, and then run over to people, open up, fart, and let it all out and scream butt water, then run away.
That sounds like you and Tim on a Saturday.
I've never done butt water. I'm not brave enough to do that with a hose.
With a hose. Well, is it the going in or the going out that scares you?
I don't have the bravery of both. It's like, because once you do one, you got to do you're committing to both. Like,
yeah, that's true. Even if you get the
one
without the other,
like you got to do the other one.
Maria says, "Well, it was nice knowing you, boys."
As soon as I put that into your mind, now there's just fear in her mind that butt water is going to happen at any given moment.
She's like, "Stop giving JL ideas."
As soon as someone knows it's a possibility, it forever becomes implanted in their brain.
Yeah, it messes with their brain.
Like they do.
He said, it forever becomes implanted in their brain.
Every time I see a hose now, I think, don't do butt water.
Unagi.
Don't. Tommy said, who thinks sticking a hose up their butt is a good idea? How do you even think of that? Your people are creative. And it's an age-old plight of man. Can this fit up my butt? Like, I think that's been asked since the dawn of man. Every object that they found at some point in human history, that question has been
tried
answered.
to be put up someone's butt.
Exactly. They've answered it. Craig said, not many injuries usually look great. Oh, that injury is pretty. No, you're right, Craig. Not many injuries look great, but some injuries look worse than others for sure. And hopefully the Cooper Cup's going to be okay after that one.
Yeah, I hope so. Another story was the Bills were calling the Saints about a trade for Alvin Kamara, which yesterday you could make the argument, it was narrative that Alvin Kamara, they made him look good, and maybe a trade happens this week. You think that happens before the deadline?
Man, I just keep going back to what would they have to give up to get Alvin Kamara? Like, what are they going to have to trade away to get Alvin Kamara? And if they do that, and if it's the other thing is, like, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm not going to go down that path. It was almost like full on. I was about to become like an NFL conspiracy theorist live on the air, and I'm not going to do that at 6 a.m. in the morning here. That's for the 8 o'clock hour when Simon becomes a conspiracy theorist. No, the amount they would have to give up, and it just doesn't seem like a necessity. That being said, selfishly, holy crap, would that be so much fun to watch Alvin Kamara on this Buffalo Bills team. This offense already seems like cheating sometimes, like out there. Like it seems a little bit cheap with Josh Allen able to do what he's doing. Adding Alvin Kamara to the mix would be absolutely insane. Just absurd. I don't see it happening though.
I keep thinking about what Sal said. If you watched earlier this week, we had Sal Capaccio on, the Bills beat reporter, and I just keep thinking about what he said about the Bills don't need to trade for a stud running back. It's unlikely they'll even use a stud running back given how much this offense is pass focused, which makes sense, and that lines up with sort of how I've seen or what we know about the NFL and how they value running backs, which is they don't. Running backs are cheap. They're very cheap in the NFL. So good running backs like that, you do see trades happen, like we saw with CMC. But man, I can't imagine. Like you said, I can't imagine what they give up.
But can you imagine? Josh Allen steps out on the field, lined up to the right of him, Alvin Kamara, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis split out. Like, that would just be disgusting. Like, it would be so much fun to watch. The Packers would have, like, if Alvin Kamara was on this team already, the Packers would have had to shut down their franchise after last night's game. It would have been humiliating.
It would have been bad. And maybe, who knows? Maybe they see what CMC did this weekend. And they're like, hey, we need to meet that, right? We need to match that intensity.
Man, it just seems like Devin Singletary is good enough for this team, though, right? Like everything that they need to be done, Devin Singletary is good enough. And then James Cook didn't look bad yesterday, getting involved in the receiving game as well. He had that one big catch. I know it was just one catch, but That was awesome. He got free, got out. Josh Allen hit him with a beautiful pass. So I get it. I get the speculation. I think what it is it's the Bills doing their homework, just calling the Saints to see what it would cost, right? It would be negligent for them not to at least see. I think Coop and Sal were talking about that a little bit. Like as a GM, like you are failing at your job if you don't at least know what it costs to get these players.
Right.
If
that's a good point. That is a good point.
Absolutely. I know. I make lots of good points. Speaking of CMC though, JL, we got to talk about what he did yesterday. He made some history.
Boy, did he
They said on the broadcast he was only the 10th player since these stats have started being recorded and the first player since LaDainian Tomlinson
2005
to get the hat trick, the rushing touchdown, the receiving touchdown, and the passing touchdown in the same game. Joe, you and I were watching together when he threw that passing touchdown, and we were like, oh, who threw? Like, it was like, oh, what a beautiful throw, I believe is what you said.
Yeah.
And that, like, not even knowing CMC threw it. And then it cuts back over, and we see back there's CMC just chucking the ball up.
It just perfect little lob throw right into the hands of whoever caught it. I can't remember in the moment. I was so focused on CMC.
We're not going to act like there was a ton of power behind that throw. It wasn't like it wasn't like a laser down the field. It was a lob.
It was a perfectly placed lob. And it was beautiful. Like nothing against him. But it just wasn't. It wasn't a dart throw, you know.
And it was Ayuk, Brandon Ayuk,
Brandon Ayuk. Thank you. Yes, it is early. Cannot remember. Yeah, no, Ayuk and Ayuk caught it perfectly. He was perfectly placed. Ran that route well and got right in there.
CMC's good, isn't he?
CMC's good, man. CMC's good. And like I think you were talking about it yesterday, the Shanahan effect of this, like just all the different ways Shanahan might use him. And the more I started thinking about it, Simon, the more I started thinking the CMC move might be like more than anything, not only a contending move, might be a way for Shanahan to save his job. Because it feels like we're kind of hitting that point where, you know, it's for Shanahan, it's like shit or get off the pot. Yeah. Right. Like it's been so long that the 49ers have been waiting for them to win a Super Bowl and make this happen. And they've just been plagued with injuries. I can't even blame Shanahan, but it's comical how many injuries they've dealt with. Maybe this is the CMC move is a way to try and save that. What do you think about that?
I don't know how to see this. I don't know if they would have let him go. I definitely think it's we are so close every year in, year out. We make it to the championship game. We make it to the Super Bowl, and they just can't quite get the job done. I think this is what are we missing? We're missing a CMC. Like we're rolling out Jeff Wilson, best case scenario, Elijah Mitchell, which Elijah Mitchell is good, but none of those players are a CMC. They've got Brandon Ayuk. They've got Deebo Samuel. They've got George Kittle. They've got the killer defense. They've got a serviceable but very handsome quarterback.
Serviceable but very handsome.
But it's much harder to trade for a franchise quarterback in the middle of the season than it is to trade for a star running back, right?
Yeah.
Teams that have a franchise quarterback aren't usually giving them up for a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth or whatever they gave up for Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Like it's not going to happen. So that's where they could make the upgrades. They made them. It's for a Super Bowl push, 100%. Now, I don't know if it's to save his job, but they're saying we think we can win it all this year, so let's go do it.
I don't know. There was definitely more heat around his seat when Trey Lance was healthy and not performing necessarily super well. I know that move was definitely he leveraged himself, right?
Yeah,
so gave up a lot to get Trey Lance. So,
man, I don't know if I would. I lost it. No idea what word was going to come out of my mouth next. Right there, JL. But I don't know if I would. Oh, well, here it is. I remembered. It came back. I don't know if I was the 49ers or any other NFL team that I would look at that Bills team and go, this is the year we're going to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is the year where I would trade away all my future picks and try to like build a juggernaut because like that final boss is pretty tough. It seems like the Bills are going to be a pretty tough final hurdle to get past.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around with it.
No.
I think I'd just say maybe not. Like they can't be this good again next year, right?
Yeah. You said, I think it was yesterday, our Sunday night recap show. You mentioned this, and I want to bring it up again. Is CMC the number one running back rest of the season?
I think so for me. I think CMC, like he was always in contention, right? Like CMC when he's healthy is always in the conversation to be the number one overall PPR back. And now he's in an offense that wants to utilize him heavily and feature him heavily, I think he's the number one guy.
Yeah, I think you were right. I agree.
Look at how heavily they used him this week. It was absurd. He scored 40 PPR points this weekend, JL. 40.26 PPR fantasy points. 94 rushing yards, 55 receiving yards, 34 passing yards, and a touchdown in each category.
That is absurd.
Disgusting, Mr. Christian McCaffrey.
CMC, you did it again. He looks so good out there, too.
You did it again.
You did it again. Joey said CMC touchdown factory. He is.
JL goes, huh. Didn't think about it.
You didn't respond to it, so I was just like, okay, yeah, it is.
I thought you were adding more. I thought you were gonna say something about the touchdown factory. Like, oh, yeah, but the workers are on strike.
He just stared at me blankly, and so I was like, okay, I guess it is.
It's a highly productive factory now.
Yeah.
They got the assembly line running again this week, I guess.
Did you see Russ ended his on-field interview with Broncos country? Let's ride.
Nerd.
Or he didn't add all the sounds. I did that, but he did say Broncos country. Let's ride.
Jill, I have this weird phenomenon with Russell Wilson where half the time I see him, I'm like, you freaking goober, nerd ass, annoying loser. And then half the time I see him and I'm like, God, I just like the guy. Like sometimes I see him and like sometimes it's like endearing and sometimes it's annoying, but it's the same quality. Like sometimes him saying let's ride, I'm like, let's freaking ride, Russ. And sometimes he says let's ride, and I'm like, God, could you shut up? Like
it's not the time for that.
I think what it is it's all on like I think Russ has one mode and he just lives in that mode all the time. And it's up to the people around him to be in the right mood to accept that Russ mode.
Yeah.
Mr. Unlimited isn't for all of your moods.
It feels like I can't remember if I made this comp. I feel like I made this comp semi recently, but you watched Parks and Rec, right?
Yes, every last episode.
You know that you know how they have that that whole scene or like a sub arc with the senator who they think is a robot?
Yeah.
Maybe that's Russell Wilson. Maybe Russell Wilson's just like an animatronic.
What happened? And this is just the technology degrading?
Yeah, maybe his chips. You know what? There's a chip shortage right now. I bet you they haven't been able to get any sort of replacement chips, so his chips are degrading.
Man, that chip shortage I thought whenever I left the automotive industry, I was escaping it, but now it's coming back to bite me in the NFL as well.
Yeah, that's why there's like it's hard to get cars right now. I think cars and PlayStation. That's why PlayStation has been so hard to get. Something about chips.
It goes even further, JL. There's a semiconductor shortage, which is leading to the chip shortage.
Whoa.
And there was a shortage before the global pandemic hit. And then during the pandemic, it got even worse. There was a bigger backlog because a lot of the factories shut down that were producing them. So it set the already multi-year backlog even further back. So it wasn't a problem created by the pandemic. It was a problem I was deep in the chip game. I was involved in I was on the
This is all post to you being in the chip game. I
kept up with it. I got friends who are still in the chip game, JL. I know people that are still struggling in the chip game every day. They're still in it. They can't get out.
Damn.
They're deep in that chip game. It's pretty bad.
Praying for them, man. Hope they're all right.
Me too. Craig had a question for us, and it was a Christian McCaffrey trade. So while we're talking some CMC, he said in a deep dynasty league, 2 contending teams, this offer is on the table. Which side do you have? A late 2023 Devi depleted first. So it is a 2023 pick, but in a Devi league. So for those of you that do not play Devi is where you're drafting college players ahead of time, right? Like in the rookie draft, you can draft college players as well, but they stay on your Devi squad until they go into the NFL. So in the rookie draft, you can draft college freshmen if you would like to. It's just going to be a while before they actually get to be on your team. Or Christian McCaffrey. Oh, I missed the player, JL. It's Javonte Williams and a late 2023 first in a Devi league, or Christian McCaffrey. Which side are you going with?
Okay. Devi depleted. I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey. This is going to depend. 2 contending teams. So the contending part is pretty important because if it's contending, of course, Christian McCaffrey is very enticing. Late 2023 first. I think I would go with the first in Javonte in Devi League. personally, how I like to play long term. I don't typically like to take win now strategies unless it's very clear. This one is pretty clear to me. I think I'd still take the Javante in 2023 first, though. What do you think, Sam?
If I'm contending, I want CMC. Like if I am a contender this year, if I have a shot at winning it, I want CMC on my roster. Like he's just too good. Like he's the kind of player that can win you a championship. Know what I mean? He puts up another 40, 50 point week. Like he can win you a championship, Christian McCaffrey. And
I would say, does CMC or does this trade put you in a position where you are far and above like in terms of your likelihood of winning with your league? Because this does depend a bit on your league mates and the strength of your league in general and your team.
I mean, I think even in a vacuum, though, you have a much better chance at winning with Christian McCaffrey this year than with Javante Williams.
Of course, but I'm personally making that move based off my own cost, right? My own situation. Even if it does give me a much better chance of winning that year, if that's not a much better chance over the best team in the league, I might not make that trade.
So you're taking my Bills approach, what I said earlier whenever I was talking about the 49ers, trading for Christian McCaffrey. Like maybe I would have held off and said the Bills are like you really going to go for it this year? Because the Bills.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. That's a damn. How do we do that? Full circle.
It was all planned out, guys. The show is
all planned.
We are animatronics. Beep boop. Our chips are fresh though. We got fresh chips.
Because Simon's in that chip game. He's got friends in the chip game.
I got friends in the chip game. You need a chip? Let me know. I'll hook you up.
Great question, Craig.
Wonderful question, Queg. Queg, Dale, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the end of that Falcons-Panthers game. We watched it.
Oh, yes, we did.
Peach to Deej for the game-winning touchdown with less than 30 seconds left in the game. DJ Moore catches it and then accidentally has a little bit too much fun jumping up into the end zone. They get hit with a 15-yard penalty, making the extra point try a little bit further away. Then Eddie Pinheiro comes out and misses it. I've seen opposing viewpoints on Twitter, JL. People trying to pin the blame on someone. Is this Eddie Pinheiro's fault? The arguments on that side are he's got one job and it's to make a kick and he didn't do his job. And then on the DJ Moore side, it's, well, he also has one job and like it's pretty easy not to get a 15-yard penalty. Like it's easier to not excessively celebrate than to hit a 48-yard extra point. Which side of this do you land on? Is the responsibility on Eddie? Is it on DJ Moore? Is it a combo of the two?
It's a combo of the two for sure. It's a combo of the two. People listen, the public loves to make things nice and simple, nice and easy. They want to place blame on one person. It's not that simple. Yes, DJ Moore should have had some self-awareness to know that celebrating is that it would have drawn a penalty, right? Like he has to have that awareness. He has to know the rules of the game that he's playing. That's the bottom line. There's no excuse to that. And the other side of this, there's a human aspect of this. He just scored the game-winning touchdown. You're telling me you wouldn't be absolutely hyped and you wouldn't go ham when you just scored the game-winning NFL touchdown? Are you kidding me? Like, of course he's allowed to feel hyped and maybe went a little bit too far, and that's okay. Like, it's not, you can't place the blame all on DJ Moore. The rest of the team played the game, right? It didn't. I feel like people they see this and it comes down to like the last minute. One person has like messes up one play and they blame it all on that person. It's not the case though, right? Like they should have been up by more than if they were going to win.
It's like blaming the guy who misses the buzzer beater for losing the game. Like it's like blaming the guy who misses the half court shot. Like, you idiot. If you would have just made that, then we would have won the game. Like that's preposterous.
Yeah.
Keith, and you're saying, did the refs really have to throw the flag? Like, come on. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like I saw him and then I was like it wasn't even like he didn't go out there. He didn't triple thrust. Know what I mean? Like he didn't pass the 2 thrust threshold. He wasn't like double middle fingers in the air running around. He didn't do any like violent gestures like they get mad about in college football. He just went out there and he jumped into the stands a little and celebrated with some Panthers fans sitting right there. Like it was fun. He was excited, and then boom.
For every person that's like Keith here is like, did the rest really have to throw the flag? There's another person equally as loud going who would have said, "Oh, why did they throw the flag there?" Like,
and those people are called Falcons fans.
maybe Falcons fans, maybe just annoying people on the internet. Regardless, I feel like whenever I put myself in the ref shoes, I'm like, all right, they're gonna get like shit on regardless, right? Like they're gonna get flack regardless of which way they go. So if I'm them, I'm just going with whatever is the rules.
I just think excessive celebration is silly. Like I just think it's silly. You should be able to have fun out there whenever you score. It's a game. Like it's a game. They're out there having fun. Let them celebrate a little bit. Like let them feel the joy of their accomplishments. My favorite in college, Dale, if you remember Vic Beasley, whenever he would get a sack, he was all about the throat slash was like his move whenever he would stand up. But in college football, there's like a very specific rule. You can do a single hand throat slash, but you cannot do a double hand throat slash because then it's a violent gesture. Then apparently that's saying you're going to behead someone, but this is just saying like, but this is like, there goes your head. And so that is a 15-yard penalty in college football, but the single hand throat slash, not a penalty. You're free to do that.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? I remember whenever they were talking about that in a Clemson game a couple years back when Vic Beasley was there, I was like, what? Like
where's Vic Beasley at?
He's at Spirit Halloween right now, I think, picking up a last minute costume.
I see. He just like suddenly dropped off the map. I don't remember hearing.
He's a free agent right now.
Really?
Yeah, he is a free agent. I really thought he was going to be the dude in the NFL. Didn't you?
That's surprising. Yeah, I mean, he did have a really good start to his career. That's kind of surprising.
A little surprising, Vic. Not so hot.
Wow.
Jail, I did want to ask you, since it is spooky season, it's Halloween season. It's actually Halloween, particularly just right now today. Got my spooky shirt on. What is your favorite scary movie?
Favorite scary movie. Oh no. 1408.
1408. I've never even heard of 1408. Give us a quick synopsis of what 1408.
1408, starring John Cusack, is a story, and Samuel L. Jackson is in it as well. A story about a writer who goes to he goes to like haunted places and writes about it. And he goes to a haunted hotel room, which is in fact is very haunted.
Is the room 1408?
That's it.
Wow. I'm gonna have to check it out. It says it's based on a Stephen King short story.
I saw it in theaters and I loved it. I saw it with my buddies in theaters and really enjoyed it, except for at the very last moment, the end of the we loved the ending in the theaters, and then we rented it when it came out on DVD at the time, and they switched the ending. They completely changed the ending, and the ending was so much worse. They completely ruined it. I remember we were so mad. And then
did they actually change the ending, or did you just remember the ending wrong?
No, they swapped the ending on the first cut that came out, and then they swapped it back. I think because it was so bad.
Why would they swap the ending?
I have no idea.
Like, was it like a marketing ploy? Like,
I have zero idea. It was so confusing. I just remember being really let down.
Watch it in theaters and be like, "This is not what I envisioned." Like, just threw a temper tantrum.
Maybe, yeah.
From the DVD.
Could have been. And Craig in here saying 1408 is based off of Stephen King's short story.
Man, I'm like scarred. The last movie I watched based off a Stephen King game, it's highly reviewed, or based off a Stephen King movie or book. It's highly reviewed. I thought it was going to be great. It was truly second worst movie I've ever watched in my entire life.
What movie?
It was Gerald's Game. Have you watched Gerald's Game?
Is it the one where the person's like tied up?
Yeah, they like are doing sex stuff in a cabin, and she's handcuffed to a bed, and then the guy dies on top of her. Dies on top of her. And the whole movie, like, how exciting can a movie be where the main character is handcuffed alone in a room with a dead man for an hour and a half? Okay, like
that was it? It's just an hour and a half? I thought it was longer. I thought it was like days.
Well, I was just saying,
the movie's an hour and a half. Okay.
It was not. I'm saying it was not interesting.
I was like, that's not long. It's just slightly inconvenient.
Yeah, that's a scary situation, but like, it's a pretty boring one to watch. You know what I mean? Like, just someone
because she starts like tripping out. I feel like I started watching, and then I was like, oh, this is terrible. I gotta change this.
Well, and then all of a sudden, Jill, you're right. Like, they just didn't do a good job. All of a sudden, it's like now there's a supernatural element, like just randomly in the middle of it. You're like, what is like just abysmal? Not quite on Now You See Me 2 levels of bad, but
it was pretty bad. Still haven't watched that.
Don't save yourself.
Scream is the movie that probably like that scarred me as a child. That really messed me up as a kid. So when you said favorite, I was like, well, that's certainly not my favorite, but it's the one that I remember the most.
The first
and I like it now.
I saw When a Stranger Calls when I was 13
Oh
in
my
movie
god, I remember
theaters.
that movie.
The
Yeah.
remake, and that one messed with me, man.
Oh,
That
someone
because
come
I
in the
was 13
house.
years old and it got me so good. That one and then Strangers was like the second scary movie I ever saw.
Is it the
That's
neighbor
the one.
one?
It's the one where they wear the white like sack masks and there's
Yes.
you
That
know what
one
I'm
freaked me out. And this they're playing
Ooh-wee.
the song really loud throughout the whole thing. 1408 has that theme too, where it's like they play like a song really loud throughout the whole thing. And you're just like, oh, stop playing creepy like 40s music.
I do think my favorite scary movie of all time though is Mama. Have you seen Mama?
No. Dude, I
It's
forgot the strangers existed, and I'm a bit scared because I definitely got really into the strangers.
that one gave me some goosebumps for a second there. That one got
Mama?
me a little bit. Mama, Mama.
No, I've never seen this.
So, one thing that is always creepy in movies is when there's children in them, like in
Oh yeah.
scary movies. Children make scary movies that much creepy. And the thing that I like about this one is the children are not experiencing the scary that everyone else is. They're kind of in on it, but from an innocence. Like there's like a childlike innocence that's almost protecting them from this. Like it's a creepy, off-putting, like gross, not gross, creepy, off-putting, like gross in the sense of it makes you feel uncomfortable while you're watching it, but it's just such a good movie. It's so good.
Man, I'm gonna have to watch that.
I like a movie that makes me feel a little off whenever it's
Yeah.
done. That one, and then Midsommar is the other one. That's a horror movie, but not your traditional turn off the lights, because it's like it's not a dark scary movie. It's a very like bright scary movie, but that makes it even scarier, I think.
You know what freaked me out about Scream as a kid? Like the reason why that one traumatized me, as I
What
remember
was it?
watching it specifically at my friend's house. I was really young, and the thing that messed me up was that it wasn't a monster. It was like real people that were causing this like horrific, scary
Yes.
situation, and that like realization as a kid really messed me up and scared the hell out of me. That like this could have happened to me in like a crazy scenario. Like everything up till then had just been like Scooby-Doo monsters. This can't really hurt me.
Yeah, I am right there with you because I was so scared of bad guys growing up. Like number one fear was bad guys in particular.
Bad guys.
Guys that were going to murder me, kidnap me. Like I was just so scared of them. Would run around, double check the doors. And so when I started watching scary movies, I could handle like The Exorcist. Know what I mean? Like I could handle demonic possession. I can handle ghosts, zombies, vampires. But when it's just a dude with a knife or like
it's terrifying.
Like it's like, get that away from me. Bring back the demons. Like I don't want to handle a man with a knife. I want to handle Satan himself. That's what I want to handle.
I can handle Satan. But Bill with a knife, hell no.
Bill with a knife. Bill with a knife, jail. Just you adding a name to it made it so much scarier. like I got like shivers thinking about Bill with a knife. Like I could picture
Bill
him.
with a knife.
I could picture him at a gas station in like 7 Mile, South Carolina. As I pulled up, there's Bill with a knife.
He just says Bill. Bill.
Bill Nye with a knife.
Bill Knife.
Bill Knife, the knifey guy. Bill Knife, the murder guy.
Oh
Bill,
my god,
Bill,
this is
Bill,
such a good skit idea. We definitely have to
Bill
run with
Knife, the murder guy. Yeah,
Bill Knife, the murder guy.
And we just lost everyone listening. They were like, and on
Bill
that
Knife,
note,
the
I'm
murder guy.
Jail,
Said my grandmother rented a movie about a lovely toy that comes to life and helps children called Chucky. I was afraid of my toys for a while. She had no idea it was scary. Oh no. Your poor grandma.
Joe, were there any movies that weren't scary movies that freaked you the hell out as a child? Like where it wasn't a scary movie, but like it got in your head?
I had to think about it. I'm not off the top of my head.
101 Dalmatians messed me up, man. Cruella DeVille was terrifying. She was ruthless. She wanted to skin those puppies.
She was ruthless.
I had Cruella DeVille nightmares until I saw the Emma Stone version came out. A lot more connectable whenever you watch that one. But Cruella DeVille was just this like creature of my nightmares whenever I was a child.
Right. Maybe Sleeping Beauty. I think that was the name of it. That one freaked me out a bit.
Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, like isn't that the cartoon, like the old VHS cartoon where it's like the witch? She's all scary.
With the apple? I think that's Sleeping Beauty. I honestly am realizing I haven't seen Sleeping Beauty since I was like, I don't know, 5. Maleficent, is that from Sleeping Beauty or is that not?
Yeah. Yeah, Maleficent.
There we go. That is pretty
She
spooky.
scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I bet. She's a little bit spooky. Guys, coming up, we are going to answer whatever questions you've got for us. So if you've got some more fantasy questions, throw them in that chat. We'll be talking hogs and logs from week 8, the players that performed well and the players that laid a log out there out on the field. We've got some Halloween spooktacular festivities coming up. We're going to do some Halloween Mad Libs. And then, Dale, we got to talk Monday Night Football and do a prop draft a little bit later as well. Guys, you're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on the Bettor Sports Network.
Bettor Sports Live with Rick Kamla. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Bettor Sports Network.
Andy Reid is the best current coach in the NFL. He's better than Belichick. Belichick has lost his way. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than Harbaugh. He's better than Shanahan. He's better than McCarthy down in Dallas. He's better than all of the gangster NFL coaches right now. Sean McDermott up in Buffalo, he's better than all these guys. Andy Reid is the greatest gangster that we have at head coach in the NFL right now. And I understand that you're saying, well, Belichick is the GOAT, Cam. How can that be true? Now you're bringing up old stuff. Bill Belichick can't draft anymore, okay? Talk to me. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Talk to me. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel versus N'Keal Harry. Okay, talk to me. This dude has lost his way. Remember the year when he should have bottomed out and just tanked, but he couldn't, and he went and got Cam Newton, and they were a mediocre team, right? He's lost his way. And not that he can't coach up a good defense and that kind of thing, but overall, he's lost his way. Andy Reid's an absolute badass. They draft great. He's a great coach, makes the right decisions, when to go for it, when to kick, when to punt. The guy's the man.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I hate the stupid unsportsmanlike conduct. As long as you're not disrespectful to the opponent, you should be allowed to celebrate.
How I used to say it, and to bring up, because now basketball's starting to bring up.
Oh, dude, it's even worse than basketball, isn't it?
So Dikembe Mutombo, who used to get teed up in the 2000s, in the 90s, they didn't give a crap. 2000s, though, when they tightened up the rules, they used to tee him up more when he did the Dikembe finger wag. But they wouldn't tee him up if he did it to the crowd instead of looking at, like, Eton Thomas, like one time I remember, and doing it right to him, or when his back was turned, doing it right to him. If he did it to the crowd, they would never call it. And so that makes me wonder if these players, while, yeah, they want to talk a little smack, maybe they should flex towards the crowd than at the player who they're standing over.
I guess.
I know again, it's soft, man.
It is soft.
Because you know what?
Like we're gonna give 15 yards for that,
bro. They think that, you know, want to know why they're paranoid? They think that's gonna turn into a fight.
See, I disagree with that. That's not going to start a fight.
I agree with you. They don't agree with us.
It's one thing, okay, if you spit in someone's face or say something derogatory, like about their family or something,
right,
yeah, that can excite it. But if you're just like, yeah, I made that play, what? You know what I mean? Like, again, they know the rules. You got to know you're going to get flagged. You have to have discipline. But, like, I don't know. I have no problem with celebration as long as it's not disrespectful.
What's disrespectful? You know,
it's interpretation, and that's my problem. Watch, it's going to cost someone in a big playoff game, and that's when people are going to go crazy. There'll be a third down play. Someone makes a pass breakup, and they're in someone's face. They're going to throw a flag. It'll extend the drive. That team scores, wins the playoff game because of it. You need something drastic for it to really leave an imprint, and I hope that doesn't happen to my team.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. Ooh, JL's a spooky ghost who doesn't talk.
Network.
Network.
Bettor Sports Network.
What? Network. 7 a.m. Sorry, Leanne. I know you're sleeping.
Wake up, Leanne.
Man, that poor girl. Like, we have one wall separating us. There's a shower in between us. And then I just sit over here and, like, scream about, like, poop and Halloween movies for an hour whenever we wake up, and she's trying to sleep.
Does she has she been able to sleep through you doing the show so far for like 2 months?
So when she's asleep, she's out. But if I wake her up while I'm crawling through the darkness trying to get over here, maybe
I was born in the darkness.
I was born in the darkness.
I mean, let me do my best Coop impression. I was born in the darkness.
I wish I had headphones to do that with. They're hiding somewhere. I gotta find them.
They smell weird.
Yeah, probably because they're on your sweaty head all the time.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, now I look like an idiot without a costume, JL.
Yeah. Now you do. I got the bunny ears.
One of my favorite Halloween costumes that I ever wore was a Christmas elf on Halloween. You wearing the Easter bunny is reminding me of that. I just thought it was funny to be the wrong holiday on the wrong day. It wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be, though.
You were the Halloween bunny for Halloween?
No, I was a Christmas elf, just like you are the Easter bunny right now. I thought it was funny to be a Christmas elf on Halloween. The humor didn't quite hit. Most people were like, "It's Halloween, not Christmas." Like everyone was like, you just picked the wrong holiday."
What a dumb joke.
I was like, that's the joke. That was me at 17 or 16 thinking I was hilarious.
That is pretty funny. Sorry, my timer went off. I had put a timer on during the break. It was going
all good. Also, I see Will in here saying, I played Dak, Waddle, Gabe, Henry, Cook, Pollard, and Cousins. Needless to say, I crushed our league and earned the highest total score this season. This morning feels great.
Boy,
Will, my man.
Let's go.
Man, it feels good when it all comes together, right? Like, not when you just have one player blow up, but when your whole freaking team goes off.
Dude.
And you're just sitting there like, you only needed 120 to win, but you got 240. Like, those games
it's
feel
absurd.
good.
Just totally unnecessary. I was playing Joey Wright. FYF Joey there in the BSN chat. I was playing him this weekend in one of our leagues, and I was sitting pretty after that 1 p.m. slate of games. I had AJ Brown. I was 9 points. Joey had Dak Prescott, Alvin Kamara, DJ Moore, Tony Pollard, and Kirk Cousins on his bench. Just Kirk Cousins was on his bench. Everybody else was in play. So I'm going to lose this week because Joey had like the trifecta.
Ouch.
Tony Pollard, DJ Moore, and Alvin Kamara.
You were probably sitting there going like, oh, man, this is going to be a good week. Like AJ Brown set me up. We got the lead early.
Another win. Call it a day.
Phone it in, and you're good to go. Bonk.
Nope. Scored 100 points at 3 players. And he started Rashad Bateman, who scored 0. And he's still going to destroy me. And Brian Robinson, who only got 2 points.
Oops. Doesn't matter, though. Dustin over here. What's up, Dustin? Good morning. Welcome in our YouTube
Dustin.
chat. So good morning, fellas. Wearing my Bills hoodie at work today just to annoy all my Packer fan coworkers.
Good.
Like exactly a good coworker should. It's subtle. You're not coming in just like screaming at them, but you got the hoodie on just to remind them. Every time they look at you, they're going to be reminded that they suck this year.
They suck.
That they just are not a very great team this year. But Dustin also saying, I need Mixon and McPherson to score under 8 points for me to score miracle win in SFB 12. Yikes.
I gave you a 2% chance. Buddy.
Yeah, Dustin, I give you a very low percentage chance. And I'm cheering on the other side of you today because, JL, I am currently up by 12 points in our guillotine league, okay? From last place. Like I am, okay. It's between me and one other guy pretty much to get chopped is what it's looking like. I've got Joe Mixon left. They have T. Higgins left. I'm up by 12. Joe Mixon,
T. Higgins, 12-point difference. I think you got it.
I think so. But what scares me is I can so easily see the scenario where I don't. Know what I mean? Like I can very easily play out that narrative, play out the story where T. Higgins just has this huge game without Jamar Chase there. And Joe Mixon continues to be inefficient, and I just lose and get knocked out of the Guillotine League week 8.
I hope not, because I'm having a lot of fun. Shout out Paul Chartian for inviting us into his industry guillotine league. It's very fun. Simon and I are still in it. Simon hoping to survive this week. I just checked. Staring down another win in Scott Fishbowl. This will be my second win. I beat Danny Kelly of the Ringer last week for my first real win, I think. Apparently I'm 2-5 now, so maybe I'm wrong about that. And then this week I'm playing Ben Gretsch from he has his newsletter, Stealing Signals. If you haven't checked it out, really good newsletter. And it's looking like I might pull out the win in this one, Simon. I just need Kareem Hunt not to score 40 points.
40 points from Kareem. Sorry, my brain broke for a second there. I was like, that seems pretty safe, JL. That seems pretty safe. But
I think it's pretty safe.
But again, what if we see it? This is the week where a 40-point running back wasn't even the top scoring running back this week. Like Christian McCaffrey dropped 40 points and he's the second highest scoring running back. Like week 8 seems to be on some spooky stuff. Like this is Halloween night. Multiple running backs have dropped over 40 already this week. There's no way. There's no way that the second running back on this Browns team, but maybe. That's the best part about fantasy football.
Travis Etienne finally popping off, which is very good for many of my teams, but my Scott Fishbowl team specifically.
Your Scotch Fishbowl?
My Scotch Tape Bowl team definitely needed it.
For some reason, I was thinking of butterscotch flavored fish in a bowl as like a nice Halloween dish. The Scotch Fishbowl.
Scotch Fishbowl, I like that.
The Scotch Fishbowl. Would you like to order? What would you like for dinner? I'd like the Scotch Fishbowl, please.
Yeah, I'll take the Scotch Fishbowl. I like duct tape bowl. Albert in here saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Albert. Welcome in.
Glad to have you in here.
Speaking of that ETN, he finally had his breakoff week. He broke off a big
This is Kit Kat week.
This is Kit Kat week. I see a lot of shade going on for Trevor Lawrence today. Post yesterday's performance, a lot of people are like, okay, Trevor Lawrence is done, or this, what happened? This is this failed experiment. Simon, what is your take on Trevor Lawrence so far?
My take on Trevor Lawrence so far is that we are spoiled with how quickly we expect these quarterbacks to develop, right? Like, even whenever we go back and look at Peyton Manning coming into the league, right? Like, it took a couple years for it to happen. Like, it is a recent phenomenon where we expect these rookie quarterbacks to come in and be the best quarterbacks in the league by their second year, right?
Right.
Trevor Lawrence still has all of the things that made him the number one overall pick, made him the prospect that people call generational. Like, it is, all of those pieces are still there. He looks better this year than he did last year. Like I still think that he had rough games, but he looks better out there on the field. We're seeing moments where we're like, that's the Trevor Lawrence they drafted. That's the guy they drafted. Give it some time. Give it some time. You know what I mean? It's his second season, and season one was with Urban Meyer. Season one was with the stank of Urban Meyer still resting on him. I get the concerns, but I'm not giving up on this guy that was touted with all of the skills and abilities to be a top NFL quarterback, because he hasn't been it yet.
Absolutely. And what I've seen is he's taken a step up for sure. I mean, he looks good out there. He's made some really dumb plays yesterday. He made some very forced throws that ended up in turnovers. He's got to fix that. Dustin and I were talking about it on Twitter yesterday a bit. And the way I see it is those things are easily correctable. The forced throws into heavy coverage, the fumbles, those things are easily correctable from a quarterback perspective. I'd much rather have those problems than accuracy issues or arm power issues, arm strength issues. Trevor Lawrence looked good, apart from the stupid mistakes, which I think he'll fix. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be absolutely fine. I think we'll be having a different I think this conversation will be completely different going into next season.
No, I'm with you, JL. And something I saw people holding against him was there was a quote during the draft process that came out where he said something along the lines of like, I don't have like some chip on my shoulder. I'm not trying to prove it to anybody else. Like, and there is life outside of football, and people hold that against him. I feel like it was taken so, like, people like say like, well, he's not like a psycho about football. He doesn't live football, so he'll never be like the best of the best. And I think that quote was taken so out of context. He even clarified later. People remember the initial quote, but don't remember him clarifying. He says on Twitter, this is from Trevor Lawrence, it seems as if people are misreading my sentiment. I am internally motivated. I love football as much or more than anyone. It is a huge priority in my life. Obviously, I'm driven to be the best I can be and to maximize my potential and to win. He also says, it's not like I feel like I need this for my life to be okay. That's the sentiment he was trying to get across, saying like, yes, I love football. I'm motivated to be the best that I can be. But if football ended, I would still be alive. I would still be okay. Like, it's not his everything. And maybe we're seeing like with Tom Brady, I think it is his everything, right? Like we see how that
Mayfield,
Mayfield,
driven a lot by what other people think. And I agree with you. I think it's way more healthy to have that mentality that he has versus the other way, regardless of what it leads to in terms of personal growth or development. Dustin says 62.5% completion percentage combined with poor mental mistakes. You got to remember, too, he was playing against the Denver Broncos. And if you watch this game, like, Denver Broncos defense is fantastic. One of the best secondaries in the league. And they were playing lights out yesterday. It looked so good. And so I'm not worried at all about Trevor Lawrence. If you are worried, I understand.
Trade him.
Yeah, go ahead and trade him to me, or trade him to the other people who are watching this who will gladly trade for him.
And that statement was in Dynasty for me. I think he's startable in redraft in a 1QB league.
Yeah.
He's in the streaming category of quarterbacks that you can probably start. But in Dynasty, I'm trying to trade for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm with you. Is there a where do you think he'll end up in this season, like points per game wise? You think he'll be a QB2?
He'll probably be QB2. He'll probably be outside of that QB1 range, but high end QB2, maybe like QB15. I wonder where he is right now. Whenever we're looking
That's
at
a
it,
good question.
Where do you think he is right now, Jale? If you had to take a guess,
If I had to take a guess, I'd say he's probably QB19.
QB10.
Wow, way higher.
He is QB10 through 8 weeks. Now there are Kirk Cousins has only played 7 games. Justin Herbert has only played 7 games. If we look on a points per game basis, then you're probably a lot closer, JL. Let's see, but let's only count quarterbacks that have started 1, 2.
See Better Boston here saying Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Matt, good to see you.
JL, you were so close with your guess. He's QB 18 on a points per game basis.
Really? Hey.
QB 18. Jameis Winston sitting ahead of him with only 3 games played, but that's okay. Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston together combined to be like the quarterback 15 on a points per game basis. It balances out. It balances out a little bit over there. Also, Dustin in here letting us know currently 10 TDs, 6 ints, 9 games left, over under 12 more TDs, over under 7 more ints. JL.
Simon.
Over under 12 more touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence rest of the season.
Rest of the season.
Getting him to 22. He's got 10. There are 9 games left. So 12 more touchdowns over the last 9 games. He's got 10 through 8 weeks.
I think that's right around the line. I'll take the what's his schedule look like?
There's teams that he's playing. There's a bye week in there as well, Jale.
Really?
They got they got the Raiders next week. So a battle of the best, another battle of the suck. Chiefs after that, then Ravens, then Lions, then Titans, then Cowboys, Jets, Texans, Titans. So it's not an easy schedule.
They
got some games in there, but it's not. They got the Chiefs, Ravens, Titans, Cowboys, and Jets left. Titans twice in that time frame.
I'll take the under on 12 touchdowns, over under 7 more ints. I don't know about the ints because he's throwing a lot, which is what you want to see. Like I would much rather him be throwing and having more interceptions than not throwing, or pulling the Justin Fields move from earlier this season. I'll take the under on the ints.
I'll take the over on the ints and the over on the TDs. I think he's going to hit both of those. Last year he tied Matthew Stafford for the most interceptions in the league, and I think they're going to keep letting him throw him. They're going to keep letting him chuck the ball. But maybe now they just give Travis Etienne the ball 25 times a game, and that's their
call
game
it a day.
plan.
Yeah,
call it a day. Guys, coming up, we are going to talk some hogs and logs. We've got a Halloween Mad Lib we'll be filling out live on air. And then we're going to preview Monday Night Football and run through a player prop draft and maybe some Halloween candy player analogies at the end of the show as well. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Bettor Sports Network.
Surely. Kickers never retire, I think. They just continue playing for all eternity. Like, there's only ever been 30 NFL kickers.
Yeah, they're always readily available too. It seems like, you know what I mean. Like they just get called up. They're like, you kicked for us 10 years ago, right? Why don't you
run it back? Let's run.
I imagine
Graham
every
Gano.
single kicker that gets the call is on a high school football field somewhere, just practicing field goals after hours. Like it's like 9 p.m. and they're out there just in the local high school kicking field goals, and the phone rings. They get a call and they're like, "Yeah, I'm ready. I've been practicing today."
I have an amazing kicker story. If you guys have a second.
I got a couple.
The number 1 all-time field goal kicker is Adam Vinatieri. The next 2 guys are Morton and Gary Anderson, right? Gary Anderson was a dude from like South Africa that just played rugby and soccer. Just could absolutely boot the ball, right? They bring him over and he does like a tryout, and he's just absolutely crushing the ball. And all these colleges are like, dude, we want you to come kick field goals for us. And he goes, I don't even want to play football. He goes, I want to play soccer. He goes, I want to play soccer. He goes, so if I can come to your school and play soccer, I'll also, in the fall, I'll kick for the football team. And Syracuse was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, you're on the soccer team. Like, come on. And he went to Syracuse to play soccer, but also kick field goals. And then he ended up being a top 3 point scorer in the NFL all the time.
That's ridiculous.
And his answer to recruiters was, I don't want to play football. I'll do it in my spare time.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. He's like, you got a spot for me on the soccer team. Syracuse is like, yeah, we got a spot for you.
We don't even care about our soccer
We
team.
don't even care.
We
We
can
don't have a
totally have
soccer
that spot.
Right? They had to like cobble together a soccer team. They're like, yeah, this guy's the captain.
Oh my God. It's like Accepted, the movie, but they just like had to throw together a whole fake soccer team.
Somehow they still got Justin Long.
Right, yeah. Like, Adam Sandler's the coach. And dude, it's imagine they win the national championship. That's a movie, dog. Yeah.
Boom!
Someone call up Disney. Yeah, we just wrote a movie for you, Disney. This has Disney sports movie written all over. I'm borderline crying right here just thinking about this movie right now.
Dude, the story gets even crazier. Like I should have looked it up again, but like it was like a high school coach that went and found him, and then that high school coach ended up being somebody crazy famous that like coached for the Rams.
Stay tuned for sports. Talk about your picks, your fantasy teams, and your sports collectibles on Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the spooktacular Halloween edition of the FYF Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. Joining us for the rest of the show, we've got Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation. Cousin Eddie, thanks for joining us.
Merry Christmas! Shitter's full. Right, there we go. Now I can take this horrible thing out of my mouth. Ugh.
You go and buy it just for the costume?
I did. I went to the Circle K and I was like, I need a cigar, but not an expensive one. And the nice lady,
like, here's your backwoods.
Yeah, and the nice lady and I, we found a cigar that would work. So it's actually a 2-pack. So if anybody wants a cigar, I know Coop usually gives things out on the show. I have a one that's not been used, it's not been in my mouth. So that's the prize for today.
And one that has been in his mouth. Damn it.
Yeah,
we spend way too much time. Yeah.
we
we just keep doing it. We can't stop.
We finish each other's sandwiches.
We finish sandwiches.
Look, it keeps on happening. I see Fantasy Nav in the chat. What's up, Eric? He said benches win championships. Benches do win championships. Moral.
Yeah, Joey. I was talking about how you absolutely obliterated me in a league where I thought I was going to win because I had AJ Brown, but you had Tony Pollard, DJ Moore, and Dak Prescott.
I did good. Which league was that?
FYF league.
Okay. Well,
Joey's like, I'm so good at fantasy, I can't even keep track of all my good teams. Which league did I crush you in, JL? Which one was that again?
I think we all have our league. Like my main home league is like I can win every single league, but if I like lose that one, I'm just I'm done. Like I'm miserable. I'm pissy. Like so.
Ruins the
I'm
night.
going to tonight. I need 30 points out of Amari Cooper, so it's not going to happen.
It's going to happen. You're going to get it from
I hope.
Amari
Oh God,
Cooper.
I will backflip if it happens.
I might break 200 points in one of our dynasty leagues.
Nice.
We're at Travis Etienne, CMC, Dulcich, Tyreek Hill, and Tua.
That's a good week.
That's a good week. I'm still waiting on Joe Burrow. It's all going to come down to him. If he can score more than 14 points tonight, I'll break 200.
Join the 200 club. I see Jolly Rancher in the chat saying no costumes. What are you talking about? JL's
Mama Grunewald?
JL's the Easter Bunny. Joey's Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
I thought it was a Playboy bunny.
Wearing a spooky shirt that says "Let's summon demons." It's not a costume. I'm the loser on today's show. But
I was going to do Little Red Riding Hood again, but Maria said that was lame to do the same costume twice.
I already did pirate. I've done pirate 4 times now. Not all on air, but I've worn that pirate outfit on 4 separate occasions. I can't just keep wearing it, right? I need something else. I guess I could throw on my luchador mask, but that's difficult to stream it. It's just that will be sacrificing the quality of the show for the rest of the day. Just so
Can't have that.
I can have that on. Jail's like, please put it on. Maybe it'll shut you up a little bit.
No, please. I don't want to talk.
Maybe you'll stop talking. Guys, it is time for some hogs and logs. Joey, you are just in time to talk hogs and logs. We're going to go game by game, hit the hogs and the logs from each of these games, talk about players that it's pretty self-explanatory, right, Jill? Do we even need to break down what a hog is and what a log is?
A hog is a hog. A log? It's a log.
Joey, any questions?
Nope.
Nope. Pretty clear, right? First game I wanted to bring up, this Ravens-Tampa Bay game, Thursday Night Football from last week. The Ravens came out with the victory, 27-22, just adding to Tom Brady's despair. Slowly. I'm sorry, Joey. I always forget you're a Bucs fan, and I just go in on Tom Brady and the Bucs sometimes.
Go ahead. Go in. He deserves it.
You know what? I did defend them earlier. JL said they were poo-poo butt water this year, and I said they're not poo-poo butt water. They're only butt water. The Raiders are poo-poo butt water.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Fair, right? Butt water is recoverable from. You can flush butt water. Poo-poo butt water is going to get a little messy, maybe. Hogs and logs from this team. Let's start with the running back that I think people were excited to start after the previous week. Gus Edwards. He turned 11 carries into 65 yards, no touchdowns, and didn't do anything through the year. Not involved in the receiving game at all. JL, Gus Edwards, hog or log?
Gus Edwards is a log, man. Gus Edwards is a log. I mean, Kenyon Drake, they ended up splitting carries. I don't think Gus Edwards is going to be what we necessarily hope he's going to be. He's not going to be the fill-in for J.K. Dobbins. He's going to split with Kenyon Drake until J.K. Dobbins gets back, which for me, that's log category.
If Justice Hill is getting almost half as many carries as you, you're probably a log. At the running back position. Joey
Hill is a log
because that dude's a log. And if they're giving a log carries, call a log, right?
Yeah, you're a log. Yeah.
Read the signs. Joey, is Gus Edwards a log?
Yeah, I mean, he's sharing carries in a backfield where their quarterback's the one that's going to run the most. So yeah, he's a log. I don't even like having really any running parts of the Ravens except for Lamar Jackson if I can have them.
Howling here. Whoa, what's with the Justice Hill? Hey, yeah, Justice Hill just catching strays as we're talking about Gus Edwards. There was really no need for me to do that, to throw Justice
There was a
Hill
need, and it was that I drafted him, what was it, 4 years ago? Nothing.
The vindictive fantasy play. You know what, Jail? I get it, though. That's how I feel with Terrace Marshall. Every time he succeeds, I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, this week must be tough for you.
Yeah,
we're gonna get to him.
A whopping 12 PPR fantasy points. If that's a hog, then
in the Panthers offense, that's a hog, all right.
I don't know, man. DJ Moore, that's a hog, but Terrace Marshall, that's
a piglet.
It's a baby hog. That's a hoglet at best. There was a hog on this Ravens team though that I want to talk about. Mark Andrews was out on Thursday, which means Isaiah Likely was the starting tight end. 7 targets, 6 receptions, 77 yards, and a TD. Joey, is Isaiah Likely a certified hog?
As long as Mark Andrews is out, I think absolutely. I mean, we've seen the tight end of this offense perform well. I think my favorite little meme I saw was, if Mark Andrews is out, how much percentage of fab are you going to spend on Isaiah Likely? And then it was the picture of the back of his jersey. It's like Likely 80. It's like 80%.
Classic.
I thought it was funny.
Those jokes
a lot of explanation into that joke, though. Wow. But yeah, no, I think he's a hog as long as Mark Andrews is out.
JL, is he a certified hog?
He, who are we talking about again?
Isaiah Likely.
It just went out of my brain. I know. It just went out of my brain.
It happens. Sometimes those thoughts.
I was thinking about how people are so like amused with themselves for thinking of the most obvious pun that slaps them in the face.
We're talking about Jeremy Maybe.
Jeremy Maybe. Isaiah Likely is a hog, bro. Like, he looked so good. He looked fantastic. Rookie. He's carving out a role for himself. I think he could be a relevant receiving option in this offense. Of course, when Mark Andrews is back, it's going to limit him. But Isaiah Likely, especially in Dynasty,
he's still a hog when Mark Andrews is in. He's just a hog that's in a hog pen. They got him. They got him hog pen.
Daddy hog.
Yeah, like they're like, we got our prize winning hog, our show winning hog over here in Mark Andrews that they roll out there. But back up, they got his heir apparent ready to go. Know what I mean? They got the hog that's going to win all the awards after Mark Andrews ready to go, and Isaiah Likely. I'm with
Is
you,
he worth
Jalen.
a pickup for you guys in redraft?
No, because I'm probably not rostering 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
And I just like it requires a Mark Andrews injury for him to be a weekly start, like for him to be an every week starter. And that's what I'm looking for on my tight end from my tight end, as a guy I can start week in, week out.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not doing it. Hal wants to know, who was the other tight end that was behind Andrews? Was it Hurst? It was Hurst, and Hurst was actually drafted before him in the same draft, right? Hayden Hurst was drafted ahead of Mark Andrews in that same draft. I think a second round pick. Am I wrong there?
No, Hurst was a first round pick.
First round pick. Andrews was a fourth.
Andrews was I think so.
Hurst was wasn't it the last first round tight end since, I know Kyle Pitts was this year, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Since
I think
before.
that's right. Because then they took Lamar at the end of that round.
Joey's gonna kill Jay. I got you. Joey's gonna fight Jay over there.
And it's not that I don't like Michael Moore. It's just I haven't put that much weight on since the season began. Like, I know I put some on.
I knew that's exactly the route that you were going,
Yes.
Joey. Whenever you're upset about it, like I knew that was exactly it, because I would have the same reaction. Be like, wow, Jay.
100%.
I've seen all his documentaries. You know?
Let's just start comparing Jay to obese people,
to fat characters.
Yeah.
Jay, you look like
Stop
Paul
it,
Blart
Jay.
Mall Cop.
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Let's get Jay
Is
on.
that Jabba the
Segway.
Hutt or is that Jay? I couldn't tell for a second.
Hal in here saying Baltimore is the tight ends, what Pittsburgh is to wide receivers. I mean, they do seem pretty good at drafting tight ends. They missed on Hayden Hurst, but Hal, let's see them draft another one, one more, and then I'll be like, okay, now I'm trusting the Ravens tight ends that they draft. Also, Jay says I actually have a deep hatred for Kevin James. Wow,
you mean Sean Payton? Now that's who should be offended. Is Sean Payton that they cast Kevin James to play him in a movie? That's just rude.
If they did a biopic about me and they made the creative choice to hire Kevin James as the guy who plays me, I would never get over it. That would ruin my body image for the rest of my life if Kevin James was the guy they picked to play me. Yeah. Sorry, Kevin James. That is so rude to Kevin James.
Delightful, man.
And he's lost a lot of weight, but
he's a fine dude. Why are we hating on Kevin James so much?
Because Paul Blart Mall Cop and King of Queens are not good. They are not good.
King of Queens is fine. You watch your mouth.
Jerry Stiller is what made King of Queens. Like
No.
the dad. Oh,
Absolutely not.
I want pizza.
I'm with Joey on this one.
R.I.P.
I'm with Joey that it's Jerry Stiller who made that one.
Jerry Stiller is not an enjoyable part of the show. He's just Jerry Stiller. It just is what he is.
Yes and no. He's playing himself, but like it's very enjoyable to watch.
On the other side of the ball for the Tampa Bay side, there were some hogs, but there were also some pretty big logs. Tom Brady went 26 for 44, 325 yards and a touchdown, averaging 7.4 per attempt. Joey, this one's a tough one. Hog or log? Tom Brady. Maria was in the chat earlier saying Tom Brady is a log.
Log.
He's a Hall of Fame log this year. Yeah, I hate everything I'm seeing out of him this year. And it's not even that he's been the worst quarterback in the league. It's just he's Tom Brady and he has a level that he needs to be at and he's not there. So because of that, he's a log.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Total log, bro.
Log?
Total log.
Hall of Fame log?
No.
Oh.
Tom Brady will be fine. Like he didn't all of a sudden lose his ability to play football. I think he's distracted. I think he's got a lot going on. And I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a lot of things just that are kind of not going their way. I don't know that Todd Bowles is the best head coach. And I think Bruce Arians elevated that team a bit. They're dealing with more injuries than they dealt with in previous seasons. I think there's a number of things not working in Tom Brady's favor. And then that combined with him being distracted and not being on his own game is just kind of leading to this perfect storm of badness. Tom Brady will be fine. He's a hog through and through. Not a doubt in my mind. He might be a log for a little while longer.
That's what I was going to ask. Is he a log now? Like, did Father Time catch up with him, like Jay saying down there? Like, is he a log? So he's not a log going forward, is what you're saying. You think Tom Brady can get back to hog status this year?
I don't know if he can turn it around this year. I think he can. I think he will by the end of the season, but I don't know. I can't say that for sure. I'm not like incredibly confident in that take.
I'm going to have a pep talk with him on Sunday when I go to the game. And, we're going to get some stuff straight.
What are you going to tell him?
What am I not going to tell him?
Speech?
Well, I'm going to turn a chair around backwards. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to say, Tom, listen, we need you this year. We're only 3-5. So is every other team in this division. We can do this. And then give him a couple drinks because we all know that Tom Brady is the best Tom Brady when he's had a few. We've all seen the video.
Tequila or two.
Yeah. And then he's going to go out there and he's going to destroy the Rams. So, and that's how it's all going to start, folks. You heard it.
That's the beginning of the story.
Just absolutely. Dustin said gets the Rams this week, so not looking good for him. Well, we'll see. We'll see. This is the week where it's. You're right. Joey's the missing piece. It's like whenever DeAndre Hopkins came back to the Arizona offense, they just look a little different. They look a little better. Joey is the DeAndre Hopkins for the Buccaneers, just in the stands.
High praise.
This belt is getting in the way.
Dustin said, gets the Packers this week, so that's a game with 2 Hall of Fame logs. Yeah, right now you're not wrong. It's an accurate description.
I laid a Hall of Fame log this morning. It was. It's not always logs. Like, I just wanted to brag a little bit. Sometimes these logs are a little mushy, but this was a Hall of Fame level log. This thing had the length, had the girth, had the solidity.
Oh, God.
One piece when we flushed. Just incredible.
A squeezer?
It was a squeezer. We don't have very many of those. It was a squeezer. I was on the call with you whenever I did it, JL. You don't even know that. You were present. You were present for this experience.
Did you have to break out the poop knife?
No, I did not have to break out the poop knife.
Sometimes you have to.
I'm going to leave that thought in my brain. That one is not coming out on the radio. That's where I stop. Another hog that I wanted to talk about, Mike Evans, 11 targets, 6 receptions, 123 yards. Hog. Mike Evans a hog doing hog things. He's going to keep on being a hog. Joey, hog?
It's what he's done his whole career. He's a hog.
Nothing but a hog. Now, what about Chris Godwin? This is the one, I think we all agree Mike Evans is a hog. Chris Godwin also had 11 targets, also had 6 receptions, turning into 75 yards, no touchdowns because Tom Brady didn't throw any. So it'd be hard for them. Oh, no, he threw 1, right? He did throw 1 to Julio. But is Chris Godwin a hog rest of season? Because I don't think people are elevating him to hog status yet with how they're valuing him.
I mean, he should be a hog. And we had a conversation last night about the best wide receiver tandems in the league. And for me, Evans and Godwin are one of them. So it's weird that Brady's a log, but both of his receivers are hogs in my mind.
Jail, you got double hog for these receivers?
I agree with Joey 100%. These guys are certified hogs.
I think the point is what Hal said earlier, that Tampa Bay O-line is a log. That's how he's got receivers that are killing it. That's how he's a log, but these receivers are all hogs on the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
This one, sorry, go ahead, Jay.
That's kind of what I was alluding to earlier with the situation is not ideal for him. And primarily his offensive line is just not what it's been the last couple of years.
It is not what it's been at all. Guys, let's move on. Unless there's any other hogs or logs you want to hit on from this game. Any more hogs or logs that you think need highlighting from Tampa Bay and New Orleans? Or not New Orleans. Who's that team? JL, what team do you cheer for again?
Ravens.
Oh, yeah, the Ravens. Cool. The Bunnies.
The
Baltimore Bunnies.
The Baltimore Bunnies. I was about to make a bunny sound. I didn't know what sound they made. Give me Karen. Run. Chris Godwin had 13.5 fantasy points, PPR fantasy points this week, making him a wide receiver 1, which is right around where he scored the last 4 games. But he's been a wide receiver 3 mostly. He was a wide receiver 2 week 6 against Pittsburgh with 15.5 points. But the other 3 weeks, he's been a wide receiver 3 or worse, and he's been right around in between 11 and 12 points. So, ridiculously consistent Chris Godwin's been.
If he keeps that up rest of season, he'll find himself as a top 12 wide receiver. Know what I mean? If he just consistently scores 13 points a game, what does that come out to if he plays all 17 games? 221 points or 12 points a game.
He's a wide receiver 3 in those weeks, but it's just because other people got scored a ton, right?
There's
the
massive
other wide receivers, scored a ton of points, and so he got pushed down. But that's still solid. And like Simon said, at the end of the season, 12 fantasy points a game.
You're pretty happy with
back end wide receiver 2. I mean, it's still probably worse than where you drafted Chris Godwin. You're probably expecting more than that, but I think he'll have more games than with more than 12 points.
He was sliding in drafts though because of his injury, right? Like Chris Godwin was going in the 5th, 6th round. So you were draft, and I think that is still tied to him. People are still looking at him as the player that was injured, not as the guy in Tom Brady's offense who is a wide receiver 1 when he's on the field, like who is a top 12 kind of guy.
The last week he flew up draft boards because the Bucs are like, oh, he's going to be ready for week 1. But before that last week, before drafts, he was going in like the 5th, 6th round solid. You could get him there, but he started creeping up into the 4th and even in the 3rd in that last week, right before the season started.
So I saw Keith in the chat, throwback, but saying he's been looking for it for the last 10 minutes. Blake Anderson would play Simon in a movie. The guy from Workaholics.
Yeah.
The long-haired guy from Workaholics would play. I'll take it. I think you got it. I would have never picked Blake Anderson, Keith, but I'll take it.
That is a weird comp. I don't know if it works in all ways, but it definitely works in some ways.
It works in enough for him to play me in a movie, I think.
Yeah.
It works in enough for him to do that. Guys, let's move on to this 9:30 a.m. London game, the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we're going to start with a guy who's been nothing but a log all year. Russell Wilson went 18 for 30, 252 yards, throwing 1 touchdown and 1 interception, adding a whopping 17 yards on the ground after 4 carries. Dale, hog or log, Russell Wilson?
Log. Rest of the season log.
So we log or hog for Russell Wilson?
A log that could have saved the Titanic from sinking, like just that will stay. Do logs float? Logs float, right?
Logs sometimes float.
Okay. Well, this is a floatable log that, I really killed that analogy. Yes.
It's a floating log.
Wilson's a log. Anything that I'm seeing from him, I'm just baffled. It's like he's been celebrating Halloween the entire month because I don't know who's out there. Someone's got his jersey on, his name on it, but it's not him.
It's not Russell Wilson. Is there any chance for him to hogify at some point this year? Like, are we going to get like the movie makeover moment where like he takes off his helmet and there's just a pig nose on underneath and Russell Wilson's a hog?
The whole time.
That's the thing is we've seen Russell Wilson turn his seasons around. Usually though, he'll start off hot and then he ends horribly. So can he turn a season around? Yes, he can. It's just, will he? And
he's a log right now, but he's throwing the ball to a certified hog in Greg Dulcich, their rookie tight end, who seems to be stepping up over the past couple of weeks. This week, he saw 5 targets, turning into 4 receptions for 87 yards. And he's been good since he's been back from injury. That first game back was a little bit slow, but he was getting work. And then the last couple of weeks, last week, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 51 yards. This week, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 87 yards. JL, are you ready to elevate Dulcich to hog status?
Dulcich is a certified hog for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm starting him every week if I don't have someone better. I guess it's how fantasy is played.
Yeah, that's generally how fantasy works. Sometimes you start the player that's not better. Joey, certified hog for Greg Dulcich, or are you waiting to elevate him to that status?
No, he's a hog for me. The status of the tight end position right now is a little shaky, and we've seen 3 solid weeks from Dulcich with both the quarterbacks that have been there for Denver. So I am so happy to roll him out. I did yesterday. Didn't want to wait on Darren Waller because I felt like he wasn't going to play. Put him in my lineup. I got 12 points out of him. I was ecstatic.
Tommy down here saying feed a family of 20 hog. Yeah, that's a hog, but no one's eating this hog. Hal, we're not eating hogs. These are hogs that are unedible. Inedible? Is it unedible or inedible?
Ooh, inedible.
Is unedible also a word? Okay to say?
No.
Or I just got to completely skip it. Why do we have 2 prefixes that mean like the same thing?
Good question.
What's the difference between in and un?
I don't know. Stop asking me questions I don't know the answer
Where's
to.
Miss Langley? I need one of my old language arts teachers to come in here and answer this. Hal wanted to know, should he hold Dulcich through the bye? Jayl, are you holding Dulcich through the bye?
It's going to be team and league dependent, but yeah, I would. And just going right out the bat, I would probably hold Dulcich through the bye because you're not going to get consistent tight ends like this, right? They're few and far between.
Dale, on the other side of the ball, we already talked about Trevor Lawrence. Probably fair to say a log in this game, but with hog upside, he could become a hog. But I wanted to talk about a player on this Jacksonville team that is a certified hog. I'll let you say who it is.
Travis MFN Etienne. Hog.
That's a
hog. The first actual hog sound effect comes out for Travis Etienne. It's the first one Keith agrees with, apparently.
So happy. Travis Etienne, 24 carries, 156 yards and a touchdown. 3 receptions on 3 targets for 6 yards. ETN season, baby. It is good to finally be here. We've been waiting so long.
Is this the kind of workload you're expecting from him week in, week out? Or do you think maybe they get Jermichael Hasty a little more involved? Or is this the Travis Etienne show?
It's the Travis Etienne show, absolutely. I wouldn't expect 24 carries a game because I don't know the Jaguars are going to rush that much every game. But I do expect this level of usage and in terms of like the other competition in his backfield.
Also, I see Keith in here with an update, JL. He says if the base word stems from a Germanic language, the proper prefix is UN. If it stems from a Latin word, the proper prefix is IN. So in order to know which one to use, you just have to know the linguistic breakdown of the word that you're trying to say. It's easy enough.
Etymology.
Just remember the etymology of every single word in the English language, and then you'll be able to determine whether it's IN or UN. It's a really helpful tip, Keith. I appreciate that. Thank you so
Joey
much.
fell asleep at etymology.
Ooh, for some reason I just heard edamame and I was like, I think I got some in the
I
freezer.
know, I heard it too the first time.
We're eating it right after this. We're gonna go heat up some edamame right after this.
You guys like edamame?
Yeah, who doesn't like edamame?
My wife, when we go get sushi, she always gets it.
Edamame.
I appease her because I want the night to go well.
So you eat the whole thing?
I eat it. It's like
you eat like the
salt.
Whenever you order it, though, you have to say edamame. Like you have to emphasize the mommy, but refuse to admit that you're doing it. So like you're like, can I have some edamame? And just see if they react.
Edamame?
Edamame.
Yeah, edamame. You've now made sushi night fun. Thank you, Simon.
You're welcome. Just do it and refuse to acknowledge that you're like emphasizing.
Well, I don't understand. So you eat the shell and you throw the beans out, and it tastes terrible. I don't get it.
Yeah, the
Keep
shell's
trying. Eventually, you'll develop a taste for it.
Okay.
It's like I went to a baseball game with a friend one time and I watched him just throw a whole freaking peanut into his mouth, shell and everything, and just start munching on it. And I was like, what the hell is this guy? He's like, well, that's where all the salt is. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And now I put entire peanuts in my mouth. You can eat the shell. The shells are allowed. Guys, next game, Panthers, Falcons. The Falcons ended up beating the Panthers 37-34 and stepping in place of the traded Christian McCaffrey. Deonta Foreman is a certified hog, at least this week. 26 carries, 118 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dale, can we expect more hog status games out of Deonta Foreman going forward?
I think so, yeah. The way they're using them after 2 weeks, you can absolutely expect that. 26 carries is insane. I would expect log weeks too from Deonta Foreman. I think this offense is going to come crashing down to earth when they're not playing the Atlanta Falcons. But Deonta Foreman's the guy there. And as long as Chuba Hubbard's hurt, I'm playing him.
I think they're still riding the Matt Rule has gone high. I think these guys, it's like kids who just drink way too much Coke. Like they have so much caffeine in their systems. The parents left and they found the 12-pack of Coke cans and they chugged like 6 of them a piece and they're just partying and it's going to come crashing down. We will see some more stinkers of games from these Carolina Panthers. Not more games, so they're dropping 34 points. But Jay, I agree with you. Hog for the time being. Joey.
I see Tyson in the chat said, can I get a rip in the chat? I had to start Carr, Renfro due to bye and injuries. And then I had to start Adams. All 3 got me about 3 points.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, buddy.
Renfro and Devontae Adams. Yeah. Listen, taking up with Tommy. They're his Raiders. He has to explain it. He has to justify this terrible performance by them. 24-0. Kidding me, Tommy?
Tyson, I'm right there with you. In the Guillotine League we were talking about earlier, I started Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfro, and Mac Hollins. I had to start all 3 of them. And when you know it, Mac Hollins was the best start of the 3, it turns out.
Wouldn't you know it?
Of those 3 players, Mac Hollins was the one I should have started out of all of them. Should have put Josh Jacobs and Hunter Renfro on the bench, but it didn't work out. Also in this game, we had one certified hog in Deonta Foreman. But Joey, you started another hog from this game against JL. DJ Moore, 6 receptions, 152 yards, and a freaking touchdown. Welcome back, DJ Moore. Is he a hog, or was he just a hog this week?
Oh, no. He's been on the field 100% of the snaps. I don't know if yesterday for sure, but the week before he was on the field for 100% of the snaps. And I said that I like a player that's you got to be on the field to score points, and I like players like that. And yeah, maybe they're just riding this Matt Rule's gone high. But I love DJ Moore rest of the season. I drafted him high. I was starting to get really sad because I was like, oh man, I really missed here. But it's looking like that PJ Walker can support him. And he had a very large touchdown that got him a lot of the points that he had yesterday. But before that, he was still being utilized throughout the game. So I do like DJ Moore going forth.
God, that pass from Peach to Deej at the end of the game. Like, let's ignore what transpired afterwards. Just the pass and the catch was
amazing.
It was one of the few, like, it doesn't happen every week where I get a jump and scream. Know what I mean? Where like I audibly make a noise and move from the position I was in while watching a game. That catch got me. That catch and then the Romeo Dobbs catch last night. Both of those catches got me a little bit excited where I like jumped up and I was like, holy mackerel. That's what I said for sure was mackerel.
The DJ Moore catch kind of redeemed him from was it after or before when he dropped the pat, hit him right in the chest and it went down to his legs? Was that before the big touchdown?
Yeah.
So he redeemed
himself. The touchdown was at the end of the game, right? Or no, his big touch. Yeah, it was at the very end of the game right there. Tyson in here said, can someone explain this to me? I have Herbert, Cook, Barkley, Chase, Waddle, Adams, and Bills D, and I am 4-4. How the hell in a 12-team league? Yeah, fantasy sucks sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Especially with the head-to-head matchups. Like, you can have a behemoth of a team and just be sitting there at 4-4. You can have a team like JL sneak into the playoffs at 7-6 and win the whole thing when you've got a juggernaut of a team. It's a brutal game. It's a game that requires skill, requires a good team, and then there's just that luck factor in there as well. You got a good team, Tyson. Hold on.
Yeah, this makes me wonder, Tyson, like, have you thought about median scoring for your league? Because I'm really starting to think about it because I've lost a lot of matchups this year that have been like, I have 170 and my opponent has like 174 and the rest of the league has like 120. And I'm just like, this is just, I don't know.
I don't like median scoring because all it does is accentuate the way I'm going. If I am winning, generally it makes my record look even better. And if I have a bad team, God, it just really sucks to be like 1-11 instead of 1-5. Know what I mean? Like, to look at your record and it's like, oh yeah, just keep on freaking piling it on. I get it. Like, to get handed 2 losses every week on your heavily injured team is just like a punch in the stomach. I think it's the same problem I have with like bonuses, like a 40-yard reception bonus, 50-yard reception bonus. Is it just like it makes the gap larger? Know what I mean? Like the winning teams are even further ahead and the losing teams are even further behind. Like, part of the fun of fantasy for me is that parity and that, like, any given week, that team could just outperform you and beat you. Like, I like that aspect. I get it though.
Yeah, I agree with that too, Simon. You got to embrace the variance. I'm not a big fan of making the game of making it too much where it's predictable.
Like, what's your goal? It depends on the goal of your league. Know what I mean? If you and all your buddies want the most fair, the best player 100% definitely wins, then there's things you can do to do that, right? There's ways you can change that, but that's not why I play fantasy. I like the variance aspect of it. I mean,
and the NFL is not like that, right? Like the game that we're modeling our game after is not like that at all.
The best team does not always win. That's 100% true. Or the Raiders would be 8-0 at this point, right, Tommy? I'm just really trying to dig in with Tommy.
Piling it on, Tommy. I see Jorge in the chat said, love the costumes, especially Simon. Halloween, salud. What up, Jorge? Good to see you, my friend. Good morning.
What's the laziest Halloween costume you've ever done? Like, we're like, you just ran out of time.
404 costume not found t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, that one's pretty good. That's a pretty lazy costume. Joe, you got like one where you really ran out of time. You had to throw something together.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, yesterday morning, I dressed up as you, and that was pretty lazy.
I don't know if I've got a real bad one. I think I just threw on a wig one time and ran outside, and that's all I was Pippi Longstocking. But all I had on was the Pippi Longstocking hair that we happened to have in my basement. It was a lazy costume. Dustin said threw on a jersey and was a hockey player. And that's the classic bro costume. Just throw on your sports jersey and say you're a sports guy.
Yeah.
Guys, let's move on to this next game. The Chicago Bears playing the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys won 49-29. And I think it's time to elevate Dak Prescott back into hog status after coming back from that injury. Is Dak Prescott a hog rest of season?
Total hog.
Snort, snort.
Snort, snort. He had 250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, but then added a touchdown on the ground as well. Jell, we talked about this a little bit last night, but I wanted to get your take on it again. Dak Prescott is a top blank QB rest of season.
Top 8.
Top 8. Joey?
Yeah, I said top 10 last night. I like where JL's at because I feel like JL's saying he's number 8, and I like that. I like that he planted a flag on a number. So I agree.
That's hot. Yeah, JL, plant your flag. That was pretty good.
Everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Plant your flag all over Dak Prescott. There is another hog on this team, and Joe, you might have to open your robe wide open for this one because Tony Pollard was the hog of all hogs yesterday. 14 carries, 131 yards, averaging 9.4 on the ground. Oh, and he had 3 rushing touchdowns as well. He had 16 yards through the air on 1 reception, but I mean, that was inconsequential to the rest of his fantasy score. Who needs even that extra 2.6 points from Tony Pollard? He didn't even need the Cats to be fantasy dominant. Is this due to hog, or was this just a hog game?
Man, I want it to be a hog game. I want Jerry Jones to say, all right, we're moving forward with Pollard. Zeke, thank you for your service. But I think he's a hog in talent, but he might be a log because of Jerry Jones, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is holding him back.
Jerry Jones, after the game, when asked about whether Tony Pollard, this is like the Tony Pollard coming out party and that he is now the starter after this performance, Jerry Jones said no. Zeke is still the starter. So I wouldn't expect this from Tony Pollard unless Zeke is not playing. I expect Zeke to be starting when he's there. And, I expect this to be somewhat of a split backfield until the end, at least the end of the season. I think Zeke is on for another season after this, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I think his contract is through 2024. So it's the Zeke show.
It's the Zeke show. I think yesterday I was saying someone needs to give Jerry Jones a fake controller, like the little brother treatment. But I was thinking about it some more. Jerry Jones is living his best life. Like, I don't like him, but this is an old man who's just playing Madden for real. Like that's literally what he's doing. Like, this is an elderly man in his last years. He's just truly playing Madden franchise mode, like making moves, picking his favorite players, just taking guys that he likes. There's no consequences in his mind. Like, it doesn't really matter, but he thinks he's killing. Like, he's having fun. And you know what? I can't say if I was him that I would be doing things differently. Maybe. I like to hope I would.
Good point, Simon.
But he's having so much fun. This is what
I think the rest of us would admit that we would be doing the same. That, it is from a place of maybe jealousy.
That's what I always like whenever people crap talk on these players that come in and party a ton and waste all their money. And I'm like, dude, they're 21 and they just got handed $1 million.
Yeah,
they're 21. They just
that was your life.
Exactly. They just got elevated to full-on celebrity status. They were handed $1 million and they're in the prime of their life. Of course they're going to be idiots. The brains aren't fully developed. I would have been such an idiot. It would have been a problem.
Thank God that wasn't me because I was already a problem. You're going to throw $1 million in fame into the equation.
I was a problem with $12 in my bank account in college. You know what I mean? At 21, if you gave me $17, I was going to be a problem. Hand me $1 million, it was going to be a big problem.
I would have bought so many movies.
Hallen here says, I swapped my kicker from Koo to Elliott. I didn't swap to the Seattle defense, left Denver in. It was a 35-point swing, totally in the wrong direction. Now I need Boyd to go for 40. That is brutal, having your kicker and defense decisions make a 35-point swing in the game. Whew. Yeah, that would have been. That's pretty rough, Hal. What do you think, JL? Can Boyd go for 40 tonight?
He can.
Give him a percentage chance.
12.
To put it into some context, A.J. Brown is currently the number 1 PPR wide receiver on the week, 156 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, and he has 39.6.
Okay, I want to lower my percentage to 4.
I'm going to lower it to 1. I'm sorry, Hal. This might just be an L week, but celebrate if it happens. Celebrate if it happens, but it's not looking good in your favor. On the other side of the ball in this Chicago-Dallas game, Justin Fields, I'm not sure he's a hog yet, but I don't want to call him a log either. I don't think he was a log this week. 17 for 24 through 2 touchdowns, added 60 yards on the ground with another touchdown. You know what? I'm going to say it. This is a hog week from Justin Fields for fantasy. this was a hog week, and he's been working towards hog status over the past 3 weeks prior to this one as well. I don't know if he's a rest of season hog, but I believe in the guy, and I like what he's doing for fantasy. Joey, I saw you nodding, but maybe not in full agreement.
No. So I want to make a caveat to it. He's a dynasty hog. He is someone that I want on my dynasty rosters for next year and going forward, because I think one of the narratives coming into the season was, is he going to keep the job in Chicago? And the last 3 weeks have shown me he's going to keep the job in Chicago. This is Justin Fields' offense, and I want that on my dynasty teams. So I want to make a caveat and say he's a dynasty hog. And I'm actually okay starting him rest of the season as well.
What about you, JL?
Yeah. I mean, he's been throwing the same amount. His attempts have not gone up, which is not super promising. The main difference for Justin Fields has been the rushing. He's been rushing a bit more the last few weeks. He's gotten a touchdown each of the last 2 weeks, to a rushing touchdown, which buoyed him. I don't think he's a hog yet. I don't think he's a hog. I think we're going to see him come back down to earth here this season.
You're a hater.
Probably.
You're an absolute
like a potbelly pig.
Not that he's not capable of it. I'm on the Justin Fields train in the sense I'm bullish on him. I think he's talented enough that he's gonna be a starting quarterback in this league. But I don't know that he's there yet. And for redraft, I'm not very confident.
Would you rather plug him in or Trevor Lawrence in redraft? Rest of the season. You got to pick one rest of season. Who are you plugging in? Trevor Lawrence is currently
no rushing.
We do have Trevor Lawrence currently sitting at the QB 10, though. I think we've been underselling how well he's been doing so far this year.
I got to take Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. What about you, Joey?
Yeah, I take Trevor Lawrence, not Justin Fields.
Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields?
Yeah, rest of the season.
I'll take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Justin Fields right now sitting at QB 16, Trevor Lawrence at QB 10. But honestly, Justin Fields has also only played, I guess 7. This is without the week 8 stats in there, actually. So Justin Fields, before the week 8 stats are put in there, is at QB 16. I bet they're a lot closer after this week because there's not too much separating them right now. They're only separated by about 18 points prior to this week, and Justin Fields definitely did have the better fantasy game this week. So they may be a little bit closer.
Twice as much. He's throwing twice as much as Justin Fields. That's absurd. Or just short of twice as much.
Who was it in the chat earlier letting us know? I think it was Dustin letting us know that Trevor Lawrence is currently 5th in passing attempts in the NFL this year so far. Number 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's like he had 2 weeks that were in the 20s. Every other week has been high, in the 30s or 40s.
Yeah, they're chucking the ball in Jacksonville. They're throwing it. Better Boston here. Matt says, is that Cousin Eddie? I wore that same costume at the parade in NYC a few years ago. One person recognized me. Joey, is that Cousin Eddie?
Got it.
Shitter's full, Matt.
Why is that funny every time? Probably because it's one of the greatest movie lines of all time. Is that your favorite movie quote of all time, Joey? That's a loaded question.
Oh boy, that's a loaded question.
I just saw the gears start turning.
I will say there's actually a quote from Christmas Vacation I like more is when he talks about pissing his pants every time the microwave fires up. Every Christmas that gets me. Like I laugh so hard every year. So
I just quickly ran the numbers here. Trevor Lawrence is averaging 34.6 passes a game. That's pretty high.
Yeah, that is pretty high. Guys, in this game, in the Chicago Bears game, Dallas Cowboys, Justin Fields, we mentioned maybe a hog. He's working toward hog status. But I want to talk about these running backs. Is David Montgomery a log? Because Khalil Herbert way outperformed him this week when we look at these two backs. 15 carries, 53 yards for Montgomery, 16 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown for Khalil Herbert. Joey, hog or log, David Montgomery?
I think he's a log. I think he has the talent to be a hog, but I think there's just someone that's better behind him. Now, I think he's going to get used in Chicago because he does have that talent. I assume this is his last year in Chicago, and it's going to be the Herbert show next year. But I think he's a log for now. Sadly.
Jail, hog or log, David Montgomery. Monty.
Old Monty is currently the running back 32 in PPR. Fun fact. He's a log.
He's a log. I mean, I think that is a little bit misleading, right? Because he missed some time. Like he missed some time. That's when
he missed
Khalil
one
Herbert
game.
stepped in.
Yeah, a game and a half. He's missed.
Yeah, and with only 8 games so far, that'll affect it a little bit. I think he's a good running back. He's been good whenever he's been given the work, but it looks like maybe we're starting to see a shift to, like, at best, a backfield by committee for David Montgomery. But I'm with you guys. Absolute log. Next game I want to talk about, this Dolphins-Lions game. Final score 31-27. Some video game numbers going on here. Joey, any hogs stand out for you from this game?
Which game?
The Lions and Dolphins game.
There's a lot of hogs. Let's see. Tua is a hog.
Tua,
hog. Tua, hog. Tyreek Hill,
hog.
That's just the Dolphin side. DeAndre Swift, hog. Jamal Williams,
hog.
Timeshare hog. Amon-Ra St. Brown,
hog.
Yeah.
Not this week, but
he's a hog
in general.
He had 69 yards this week, so I think that elevates
total
the hog status, right? Total hog.
This is a bacon factory. There's so many hogs in this game.
What about TJ Hawkinson?
It's a good one, Dale. Hog.
Hey, because of the tight end position, I do think he's a hog. He's getting work in the offense and one of the best offenses in football. Can't believe I'm saying that, but hey, it's proved true. So
it's kind of silly. Tight end 4 in PPR so
Overall?
far in the season. I mean, a lot of that came in a single game. Yeah,
he had that like 40-point game. And what week was that? Week something?
A 36-point game.
It was absurd.
Week 4 against Seattle.
Yeah, that was a fun game. That was a fun game to watch. Geno Smith went nuclear in that game as well. And then TJ Hawkinson absolutely killing it. What about Mike Gesicki? I was going to try to shove hog into his last name, but it wasn't going to be as good. Mike Gahoggy.
No H.
Mike Hogsicki.
We all somehow still know who you're talking about.
What about Mike Hogsicki? He had 4 targets,
Mike
3 receptions for 38 yards and a touchdown. So not heavily targeted, but happy if you rostered him this week, if you put him in your lineup. See a hog?
I think he's in the glob, right? If he gets a touchdown, you're pretty happy about it. If not, you're pretty upset about it.
Yeah. He's like in that Dawson Knox category for me. It's like it's tight end or touchdown or bust tight end. And I would rather get tight ends that I know that are going to get a little bit of work, maybe have a little more targets than just 4 a game, which is kind of hard to find right now. But I'd rather have Dulcich than Mike Gesicki, if that makes any sense.
I would as well. Also, I see we had some questions in here. We had a question come in, wanted to know, what do we make of Wan'Dale at this point? So Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver for the New York Giants. JL, what are you making of Mr. Wan'Dale Robinson?
Yeah, he's just, he's not commanding a super high number of targets. This offense doesn't have a ton of receiving options, which is going to let the defense sort of hone in on him. So I think we're going to get a lot of this, right? Until his targets go up, he's going to be limited. He needs more opportunities in order to turn those into fantasy points, and it's not currently getting that. Like that offense runs through Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Joey, what about you? Is he a hog?
Fully agree with JL.
Fully agree with JL. Yeah, I'm excited for Wan'Dale Robinson, but Joe, you're right. It does run through Saquon Barkley, but he'll have big games. I do think he's going to be the most targeted wide receiver on this team over the back half of the season, even though we saw Slayton get more targets this week. We had another question in here from Will. Will said Zeke gets a lot of playing time because he picks up the blitz and blocks better. True. I think that is Zeke is known for his run blocking ability, right? Or his pass blocking ability out there.
So I just pulled up PFF here. I think this year. Yeah, this year, Tony Pollard is playing, 21 pass block plays compared to Zeke's 25. And run block plays, he's in on 27 compared to Zeke's 13. So I don't know that that's necessarily the case. Tony Pollard's also blocking a lot this year.
Interesting. That is interesting to get that right there. Guys, coming up, we are going to have some Halloween festivities. We're going to be doing a Halloween Mad Lib together. And then we've got our Monday Night Football preview and prop draft. Joey getting in on the prop draft action today. And then we'll be talking a little bit more about different players and some analogies for them. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Front Yard Fantasy, weekday mornings at 7 Eastern.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just banning the porn bots real quick.
Whenever the porn bots, I will say, dude, whenever the porn bots show up, it means we're doing something good. It means that we're showing up. So, you know, if they wouldn't find us if we weren't, if the live stream wasn't good. So, you know what? We welcome you here. Tinder-hot-.xyz-best adult dating site. One of our biggest fans.
I detach all of my self-worth to how many porn bots come into our show in the morning. If we don't get any porn bots, I go the rest of the day thinking like, what did I do wrong? Why didn't Tinder-xyz.com want to hang out with me this morning?
Yeah. People ask, how was the show? I'm like, not that good.
No porn
bot showed up.
Moose and Keith. Weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Because I never asked you this. When Noah was growing up, when did Noah first where you got a sense that this is what my son wanted to do?
I was really busy during his formative years. I didn't meet Noah until he was about 19.
Nice. So, your wife did a good job.
Yeah, you may want to talk to him. I would say about first vision, he started showing a legitimate interest. He started getting curious about how I prepared, what it required, and then I saw a little bit of a shift, 14, 15, where he was concentrating on the on-cameras, the interaction between play-by-play and analyst, and started probably taking mental notes at that point of the performance aspect of, okay, you do all this prep, but you got to go out and deliver it. So, yeah, probably that 14, 15 range, I thought to myself, this could be something he really wants to do.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
Boo! Just kidding. Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. It's Halloween. Oh, and a ghost just attacked Joey.
I've been attacked by so many ghosts on this show.
Joey, I'm starting to think your house is slanted and that there's not a ghost with the number of things that have fallen off that bookshelf.
Okay, secret's out. I live on a cruise ship, and sometimes we hit some rough waters. And,
Sweet Life on Deck is based on you, based on your life.
Yeah, it's exactly my life.
You have a twin brother that I didn't know about?
Fix my costume. I do. Same as Jerry Wright.
Jerry Wright and Joey Wright. Jerry Wright is awfully close to Jerry Rice. I feel like that would be
You
get called what?
Good. I get called Jerry all the time.
Jerry instead of Joey. I used to get called Sam all the time as a kid. I had a wrestling coach in like the 3rd grade. He was only there for 1 year, but he could never get my name right. Like I was there for a full year, practice every single day. And he would show up to the matches, sit in my corner and go, Sam, get him, Sam. Like my name's not Sam, man. It's Simon. There's a bunch more letters in there and different vowels entirely.
Did you ever correct him?
No, I was like 8. He just called me Sam. I just let him call me Sam. Hal said I dislike the families with all the kids' names that start with the same letter.
Even worse, like George Foreman named all his kids George. Like, come on, man.
Are they spelled different, or is it all just George spelled?
I think the girls are Georgina, if I'm correct in this. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but
they could have just gone
named like
Georgina. He could have just gone with Georgia. Know what I mean? I feel like George is a very pretty name as well. He could have mixed him up. George. Are there other George-based names that he could throw in there? I'm not sure. Mark,
is that George?
That is George as well. We had another question in here coming from Mark. Mark wanted to know, should I be panicking on Swift and JT? Joey, what's your panic level on DeAndre Swift and Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor 2 because of the injury on a scale of 1 to 10. A little worried about the ankle. But DeAndre Swift, I'm not worried at all. I think we've seen Jamal Williams is going to be involved in this offense, but DeAndre Swift is still getting you fantasy points. Maybe not to the level of like Austin Eckler and Travis Etienne, but you know he's very serviceable. I'm happy having Swift on my teams, and I think his usage is only going to go up through the season.
Welcome back, Easter Bunny.
Thank you.
Did you have to lay some
Playboy
eggs?
Bunny, can't you tell?
I did have to lay some eggs. I had to hide them too.
How did the Easter Bunny egg thing start? Like, how did bunny and egg get put together?
Well, a long time ago, a bunny by the name of Theodore gave birth to 3 eggs. 1 egg contained gold. 2nd egg contained myrrh. I think is what it's called. And the 3rd egg contained ramen noodles.
Ah.
A wise man came from Egypt, and found the 3 eggs and the bunny sitting there. He had to pick one. Which one did he want? The one with gold, the one with mirth, or the one with ramen noodles? Of course, he chose the one with gold, but the bunny didn't give it to him. They gave him the one with the ramen noodles. And that's the story. That's how Easter started.
That's how Easter started. And
That was
that's why
excellent.
that's why there's ramen in all of your Easter eggs, no matter which ones you find. Morgan, you're saying I lost this week because of Pickens and JT. Yeah, it was a rough week for those guys, but there's better weeks ahead, at least for JT. I don't know about Pickens. That offense isn't looking so hot. Jale, you got hopes for Pickens going forward?
I have hopes, yeah, for sure. He got shut down this game. Which is bound to happen. It was a good defense. Pickens is young. He's a rookie wide receiver. He's going to get shut down in matchups like this. There's hope. I don't think he's a every week start. I think he's a solid wide receiver 2-3 combo rest of the season.
Guys, we are going to get into a special segment that we're doing today. It is a Halloween Mad Lib that we are going to be filling out together. Joey and JL, I'm going to give you guys a type of word. I'm going to let you know. I haven't read through the entire Mad Lib, so I don't even know where these words are going. But I want you guys to help me fill in the word. I give you a prompt. You tell me what that word is going to be, and then we're going to read through the story together. I think we do it in phases, in chapters. We'll have chapter 1. We'll get a couple words. We'll read through it, and then we fill in a couple more and see how this story pans out. Jill, that was a really great appetizer story that you just gave us right there about the Easter Bunny origins.
It's not a story. It's real life.
Oh, stories can be real.
That's true.
Stories can 100% be real.
I'm bad for saying that, guys. Remember that 30 seconds ago I said story. It wasn't a story. It's real life. My bad.
Thanks, Jale. I appreciate you taking responsibility for your words in action.
I got you.
As the first word I need from you, I need an adjective.
Horny.
Joey, are you in agreement with horny?
Am I? What? Yes, I'm in agreement with horny.
Okay, so Joey and JL both agree on horny as the first adjective.
I'm second guessing it, but we're staying with it. I need
an NFL mascot.
Packer. Just because the horny Packer sounds funny.
All right, let's go with Packer.
With a Packer. Okay, so we've got a Packer in there as the NFL mascot. The next one I need
never invited me back.
I need a place.
Bali.
The Alamo.
Which one's it going to be? You guys got to decide together.
What do you think, Joey? What's funnier,
the
Alamo or Bali?
The Alamo, yeah. Because we'll remember it. So
yeah, they don't forget.
Yeah.
They don't forget. So far we have horny, Packer, and Alamo. I now need a verb.
Let's let the chat guess this one.
Yeah, if you guys have a verb that you want in this story, throw the verb in there.
We will. Joey and I will choose based off your guess.
Let's see your verbs. Is that a verb they need? Yeah.
Show us your verbs, everybody at the same time.
Hal had some good. Hal said for the place Tucson. Curmudgeonly. That's an adjective.
I don't think Al knows what a verb is.
We need something that you do, something that you're doing. See if we got better.
Drooling.
I like drooling.
Muffed from Dustin.
Do you want drooling, muff? What are we going with, guys?
What do you think, Joey?
I kind of like drooling. That's the theme.
It's disgusting. That is so gross.
Oh, but Jay came in with flapping right at the.
Flapping's pretty good.
Flapping, yeah, we're rolling with flapping.
Flapping.
That's funny.
Sorry, drooling. You've been replaced by flapping. Okay, and let's do one more before I read you the introduction to our story. I need a noun.
A noun.
Ostrich.
Is there an NFL related noun we could pick? Roger Goodell.
I'm going to say not a proper noun.
Oh, damn it. Referee.
Okay. I like
referee.
That.
Okay, we got referee. Let's see the beginning of our Halloween story. I have no idea how this is going to read. But guys, the title of your story is The Best Halloween Party Ever. The best Halloween party ever.
Let's go.
Last night.
Good start.
I went to the most horny Halloween party.
Yeah.
The invitation was delivered by a Packer, and he told me to go to the deep, dark Alamo and flap all the way to the very top of the spooky referee. That's the setup. Remember,
Okay.
you have
All
now
right.
you are now at a horny Halloween party. A Packer
At the
delivered your
Alamo.
invitation at the Alamo, and you flapped all the way to the top of the referee for this horny Halloween party.
I wish we knew which Packer it was.
I've been in the Alamo. It's pretty dark in there, so I could imagine there being a very horny party at the Alamo.
I think every party at the Alamo. I went to
They have little prison cells through there.
Very sexy Halloween
not
party.
hear it every
That was
time.
excellent.
You guys ready
unexpected.
for the second portion of this? For the second portion of
Let's
this
go.
story,
Let's go.
This
Let's
hat's
see it.
hot.
I need a past tense verb. A past tense verb.
Kicked.
Joey,
I'm fine with kicked.
Kick?
I'm fine with kicked.
okay, and then next I need an adverb.
Adverb is a word describing a verb.
Yes,
Uh,
they usually end in ly, just as a like a cheat for adverbs.
what do you think, Joey? I came up with kicked.
Cunningly, is that an adverb?
That is an adverb.
Cunningly?
Cunningly.
Sounds risky to say.
It does.
Cunning.
It does.
There's a couple words it's awfully close to that I'm a little uncomfortable saying. We can go a couple different routes here. Feels like a risky one for someone who's a little loose with his words sometimes to try to stay on air live. But we can do it. Is that the one you guys want?
Yeah, because I want to see you mess it up.
All
Okay.
right, let's go with cunningly.
And I'm gonna not say it right now. That way I limit the number of times I can mess it up. Keep saying this is just going to become erotica. Potentially. Next, guys, we
NFL rock.
need an exclamation.
Oi.
I like
Oi.
oi.
Oi or
Oi.
a oi a. Just one oi.
Just oi. Single
Just
oi.
one single oi. So we've got as
Oi.
our explanation, and then we need an NFL player.
Tim Biaka Batuka.
No.
What?
Let's go with let's go with
Chat. What NFL player should we throw in here?
Yeah,
Let's let the
chat.
chat
Let's let
decide
the
on the
chat
NFL
decide.
player that's going into this story. There's some
I'm
good
getting
ones. though.
Biaka Batuka in this Mad Lib. Don't you worry.
Yeah, you got to fight JL to get Biaka Batuka in the Mad Lib, though.
Bianca Batuka. House of
Ian?
Jalen Duran, Tiki Barber from Jay. It's a good one. Going
You guys see any, like-
Taysom Hill from Dustin?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill
Let's
feels
get
like
him
a
in
winner.
here. Yeah.
Taysom Hill. And now
Good one.
I
Good one,
need,
Dustin.
now I need a Halloween costume.
Slutty nurse.
Joey, how you feeling about Slutty Nurse?
I feel I'm on the record. I'm pretty good. I feel pretty good about slutty nurses, especially on Saturdays when my wife dresses as one. But yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, so let's read the next part of this story, guys. You guys helped create this. The next part of the story. So as a reminder, you just flapped all the way to the top of the spooky referee for this horny party at the Alamo where a Packer delivered your invitation. Here's where we pick up. I kicked the doorbell cunningly. Oi! My friend Taysom Hill answered the door dressed up as a slutty nurse.
Yeah.
That's where we
Yeah,
are
you did.
right now. That's where we are right
Okay.
now.
All right, and that's
Pretty
the beginning
good.
of the story.
So we're friends with a slutty nurse, Taysom Hill. Okay.
yeah,
That's a
Of
good
course.
for
friend
his
to have.
horny for a horny Halloween party.
Oh, boy.
Guys,
Before
your
we get
next-
on to the next Mad Lib, Dylan had a question for us. Trade Fournette and Godwin for Travis Etienne, half PPR league.
Oh, man.
It's too much.
too-
It's too
It's
much.
too much to give up for me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
too
I'm on
much.
the Fournette Godwin side. It's a little too much value to give up for Etienne.
I do.
Fournette
God-
might end up finishing close to Etienne.
I would
I think
do
if you
Godwin
want
plus
ET
like AJ Dillon or something like that for ETN. Know what I mean? Like one of this like next tier of running back I might do, but Fournette's
Yeah.
potentially a top 12 guy.
Yeah.
What about Godwin and Deonta Foreman for Etienne?
I would do that.
I would do that
do
as
that?
well. I
Just
think
because where you got Deonta Foreman from, you got him from the waiver wire. You didn't draft him. So,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
uh-oh.
guys, I think we got someone who's going to help us out with the next section of the Mad Lib over here. Joining us live from Reykjavik, we've got the man, Coop A Fiasco coming on the show right now. What's up, Coop?
What's up, gang? Can you hear me all right? How's my
We
video?
can hear you. Look
Yo,
great.
Iceland's got the
you
hook up
guys-
with the internet.
Whoa, what are we looking at? Is that
a geyser?
ground parts?
We're at a geyser, and you can thank producer Keith because you got like it literally just erupted like 30 feet 1 second before you put me on.
Oh no.
So
No.
way to go, Keith. Hey, attaboy, Keith.
Damn
Clap it up.
Keith.
Clap it up for
What's
Keith.
it? Clap it up for Keith, everybody.
Hit that fun button for Keith,
That's
Mitchie the
awesome.
geyser.
Was anyone burned in the geyser erupting?
Oh yeah, it was pretty dramatic. So actually, probably couldn't have put it on air, but
That's true.
anyway, I'm really enjoying the Mad Libs, dude. These are great.
You want to help us with
out?
this next chapter?
Yeah, let's do one.
Coop,
There's
I need
there's Mrs. Coop over there in the black. Hold on.
Hey, Kate,
Kate.
Kate, Mrs. Coop.
Kate, can you hear
She's
us?
busy. She's busy with the
No,
geyser.
she can't hear that.
She's busy with the
Yeah.
geyser. Coop, the next word
All
I
right, let's
need
do
is
some lists.
I need a silly word.
Let's see. This isn't even a actual word, but it sounds like something they say in Iceland. So how about Flugstrand?
Flugstrand.
I like it.
Okay, we got Flugstrand as the silly word. The next one we need a number. A number.
Don't do
How
it.
about 35 straight vibing?
Ooh, 3-5 and straight vibe.
You guys
I
like
it.
3-5 and straight vibing?
Love
do
it.
it.
Hal is in
Also,
here.
Will
Go ahead, Joe.
said, "All right, fellas, signing off. Got to go deliver mail. See you tomorrow morning."
Shout out
Safe
all our
delivering
mailmen.
mail, Will. Yeah, glad to see you. Thanks for coming in. Great questions today. Sorry, go ahead, Simon.
Hey, we're good. We got that number in there. I also see Hal. Hal is not giving up on curmudgeonly. He wants curmudgeonly so bad in there.
We'll
We
get it in
also
there for you, Hal.
we need an adjective. We need another adjective now.
Curmudgeonly.
That's an adverb.
It is, but it can work, right?
Kate, give us an adjective.
For what?
Just any adjective, any random one.
Hi.
She's
Did we get
she's
an
shy.
adjective?
She forgot.
No, we don't
shy.
have an
We could
adjective.
use shy.
Chai.
How about curmudgeonly?
That's a great suggestion.
You know
Coop.
what? I'm just gonna shove
great
it in there.
I don't know. It just came to me.
I'm gonna shove it in there, and if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. I have no idea what's going on. Curmudgeonly is now the
It's not an
adjective we're
adjective.
going with. That's fine. It's okay.
Make it fit.
And now I need a plural mascot. Again, this needs to be an NFL mascot, but it's got to be plural.
An NFL mascot that's got to be plural. How about
Cardinals.
Sir Purrs with an S?
What about the Jaguars?
Up to you guys. You
Jaguars
guys got the
first.
final call. You want to go Jaguars? You want to go Sir
Jaguars
Purrs?
is fine. Yep.
We got Jaguars.
Every single NFL team ends with an S. Every single NFL team ends with an S.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, we're gonna read this next portion of the story. I'm gonna read it to you. We just got a couple sentences here, but Coop, I wanna let you go enjoy that geyser, but I want to let you hear the work, the art that you created. So we're gonna back up a little bit. A reminder: you just rang the doorbell. My friend Taysom Hill answered the door, dressed as a slutty nurse, and said, "Flugerstrand." There were 35 different costumes, including curmudgeonly ghosts and mummified jaguars. So we've got a slutty nurse, curmudgeonly ghosts, and mummified jaguars all at this party so far that Taysom Hill invited you in as. Goop, a work of art that you just created here.
Interesting. True
Pretty
beauty.
beautiful stuff, guys. Thank you for letting me be a part of it, even though I'm technically on vacation here.
Yeah.
That's
Before
true.
you leave,
I hope you're
what's
enjoying
more-
your vacation. It looks beautiful there.
Yeah, what's more beautiful, the story we just created or the geyser that you just watched explode?
100% this story, dude.
I knew it.
Absolutely.
It brought a tear to my eye, dude. I can picture being at that party, and I would have some words with Taysom Hill.
Oh, I bet. What kind of words?
I'd have some words with Taysom Hill in
Some
that
stern
costume.
ones about
The stern ones. You take that off.
him ruining the tight end position. I would have him demand that his agent change his label to something different. I think he would. I think he'd be on board with that. Did it
And,
go again?
Yeah, it's gonna go in like 5 minutes.
We missed it again.
No, it's going in 5 minutes, is what I just heard.
Boom.
We got
Go
the
sit
inside
on it.
scoop
Go
in the
sit on
background.
it.
Go.
Yeah, Coop, will it be
Shoot.
like one of those cartoons if you sit on it?
All right, I'm gonna go sit on the guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy your day, Coop. Enjoy vacation. Thanks for
And
helping
then
us with this
go
story.
walk up to people and fart and say poop water.
You know, guys, I always wondered when when I would call in if it was annoying and like just completely unnecessary. Now that Coop has done it, I see that it's pretty much that.
No, we love Coop.
Wow.
Joey, we will fight you trying to make an enemy out of Coop over here. Coop, thank you so much for joining us, man. Enjoy the rest
Unreal,
of your vacation.
Bye, Coop. Love you, buddy.
Catch you guys. Say bye, Kate.
See ya, Coop.
God, thank God he's gone.
Coop,
Man, this story's turning into something sexy so far. Also, Dustin in the chat says if Keith isn't currently photoshopping Taysom Hill as a sexy nurse, he should be fired. Quick update. We have a message from Keith. Before Dustin sent that, I was editing Taysom Hill as a slutty nurse. So he is way ahead of you, Dustin.
100%. Yeah.
We are
Oh,
getting
God.
that done. He's over there.
You
editing
guys
that
have
right
fun
now.
on this morning show. Man, this is so much better than the other stuff we do.
We're allowed to say whatever we want. There's no rules, right? Poop, animal piss. You can say whatever you want. Joey, try saying animal
You always
piss.
say that.
I literally said shit right when I came on. That felt great.
Guys, let's continue this story. We're getting towards the end
go.
over here. We are getting towards the end. I need another adjective from you.
Furry.
Sweaty. Furry. Let's go with furry.
Furry. Gross.
Furry.
And now I need a past tense verb.
Humping.
Humped.
Humped.
Wait, yeah.
Past
Just
tense.
if
Okay.
you'd be in the act if you were okay, yeah, humped.
And then I need a body part plural.
Body part plural. Toes.
Yeah.
Okay, we got toes. And that's what Hal said as well.
Toes.
We got a toes
Ow.
squad. Toes on the mind at the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show is what we got.
Oh,
Dustin, don't say that.
Watch your mouth.
Go to the
It's
corner.
Disgusting. You're in timeout,
Ooh,
Dustin.
too far.
I need a verb.
Squirted.
Don't.
It's got not past tense, just present tense
Sniff.
verb now.
Sniff.
You're going with sniff or squirt? Which one's it going to be?
Sniff. Sniff, please.
Jail seems adamant that sniff's getting in there. We'll put sniff in there. And then a noun plural. A plural noun I need next.
Munchkins.
Let's go. Let's go.
Are
with
we allowed to say
Munchkins.
that? Like Wizard of Oz munchkins?
Like the donut holes. Oh, I was thinking the
I was
the
thinking
donut
Dunkin'
holes.
Donuts.
Okay, yeah, Dunkin' Donuts munchkins. That's what I was thinking too.
We could just let's put donut holes so that it's or no
Yeah.
munchkins. Is
I
that
like
what you
that.
guys want?
Yeah,
Finger
donut
trap. I
hole.
like finger traps from
Finger
Bettor Boss.
traps.
Yeah,
that is
finger
a good
traps. Finger traps. It's on brand.
finger traps in there. And you know what? We've only got 3 left. So let's go ahead and wrap up this story.
Yeah.
A verb ending in ing.
Throwing.
Throwing.
Yeah, throwing.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
Throwing. Then we need
controversial.
another plural noun.
Nuns.
Nuns. Okay. Nuns. And then one last adjective.
Can we switch nuns for linemen?
Yeah, if you guys
It's a
agree.
sports show. Yeah.
Lineman. And then adjective. What's your last adjective?
Clever.
Clever. Okay, let's read
Okay.
the back half of this story. We just learned that there were curmudgeonly ghosts and mummified jaguars at this party, but that wasn't where the party ended. The music was loud and furry, so I humped until my toes hurt. There were also delicious treats to sniff, like candy corn and chocolate-covered finger traps. But my favorite part of the party was the pumpkin throwing and bobbing for linemen. I can't wait until next Halloween. It will be even more clever.
My homecoming date liked to bob for linemen.
Oh.
Another story altogether. Yeah, I think we've talked about her enough on shows.
Oh, guys, thank you so much, everyone, for helping us create that story. It was beautiful. We'll post the full story somewhere for everyone to read. Hal said the end of that got really sexy. Yeah, we promised you a horny Halloween party, and we delivered on a horny Halloween
sure
party.
did.
Guys, coming up, we are going to preview this Monday Night Football game and do a prop draft, review the results of last week's as well. And then we've got some Halloween candy player analogies coming up as well. Keeping the Halloween theme going. Guys, if you're enjoying what we're doing over here, make sure you head on over to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. Subscribe to our channel over there. We do more of this, more fantasy football analysis and more nonsense. You can find both on our channel, so make sure you're subscribed over there. Right now, you're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Bettor Sports Live with Rick Kamla at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Bettor Sports Network.
Andy Reid is the best current coach in the NFL. He's better than Belichick. Belichick has lost his way. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than Harbaugh. He's better than Shanahan. He's better than McCarthy down in Dallas. He's better than all of the gangster NFL coaches right now. Sean McDermott up in Buffalo, he's better than all these guys. Andy Reid is the greatest gangster that we have at head coach in the NFL right now. And I understand that you're saying, well, Belichick is the GOAT, Cam. How can that be true? Now you're bringing up old stuff. Bill Belichick can't draft anymore, okay? Talk to me. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Talk to me. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel versus N'Keal Harry. Okay, talk to me. This dude has lost his way. Remember the year when he should have bottomed out and just tanked, but he couldn't, and he went and got Cam Newton, and they were a mediocre team, right? He's lost his way. And not that he can't coach up a good defense and that kind of thing, but overall, he's lost his way. Andy Reid's an absolute badass. They draft great. He's a great coach. Makes the right decisions, when to go for it, when to kick, when to punt. The guy's the man.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I hate the stupid unsportsmanlike conduct. As long as you're not disrespectful to the opponent, you should be allowed to celebrate.
How I used to say it, and to bring up, because now basketball's starting, I'm going to bring up personal.
Oh, dude, it's even worse than basketball, isn't it?
So Dikembe Mutombo, who used to get teed up in the 2000s, the 90s, they didn't give a crap. 2000s, though, when they tightened up the rules, they used to tee him up more when he did the Dikembe finger wag. But they wouldn't tee him up if he did it to the crowd instead of looking at, like, Eton Thomas, like one time I remember, and doing it right to him, or when his back was turned, doing it right to him. If he did it to the crowd, they would never call it. And so that makes me wonder if these players, while, yeah, they want to talk a little smack, maybe they should flex towards the crowd than at the player who they're standing over.
I guess.
I know it's soft, man.
It is soft.
Because you know what?
Like we're gonna give 15 yards for that,
bro. They think that, you know, want to know why they're paranoid? They think that's gonna turn into a fight.
See, I disagree with that. That's not going to start a fight.
I agree with you. They don't agree with us.
It's one thing, okay, if you spit in someone's face or say something derogatory, like about their family or something,
right,
yeah, that can incite you. But if you're just like, yeah, I made that play, what? You know what I mean? Like, again, they know the rules. You got to know you're going to get flagged. You have to have discipline. But, like, I don't know. I have no problem with celebration as long as it's not disrespectful.
What's disrespectful? You know,
it's interpretation, and that's my problem. Watch, it's going to cost someone in a big playoff game, and that's when people are going to go crazy. There'll be a third down play. Someone makes a pass breakup, and they're in someone's face. They're going to throw a flag. It'll extend the drive. That team scores, wins the playoff game because of it. You need something drastic for it to really leave an imprint, and I hope that doesn't happen to my team.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network, and happy Halloween to everybody joining us. Before we get into our Monday Night Football preview, I wanted to let everyone know about a giveaway going on, a sweepstakes here on Bettor Sports Network. If you head on over to the Bettor Sports Network Twitter, we are giving away a signed Bryce Harper baseball. Phillies fans, baseball fans, or sports fans, make sure you head on over, like and retweet the post on the BSN Twitter, and make sure you have the app downloaded. They're going to announce the winner tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Bettor Sports Live with Rick Kamla. So make sure you guys go enter that. That's a pretty sick piece of baseball merch that you can add to your collection, especially if the Phillies pull it out. If they can get that victory, that's going to be pretty sick. Guys, we are going to get into a player prop draft ever so shortly here. We missed Hal's suggestion of Draculas during the last section, though, and I feel like we missed out on a sexy portion of that story if we would have put some plural Draculas.
Bobbing for Draculas.
Bobbing for linemen was pretty hot. That was a pretty good one.
That was pretty hot.
That was a pretty good one. Guys, last week we did a prop bet draft for all of the Sunday games, that Sunday slate of games. JL, I just went through and calculated the results, determined who won, who lost. We all drafted 3, right? I got 1 correct last week. Just 1. You got 1 correct last week. Just 1. Coop win a perfect 3 for 3. Got all 3 of his correct last week. We didn't stand a chance, JL. We had to be perfect to even tie with him, which means I believe you and I lost an impression bet. So I don't know how we want to pay this out. If we want to do it while we're drafting, if you and I want to have a quick 30-second conversation in an impressions voice, I'll let you guys decide. What do you guys think?
There goes Simon. He's out. He leaves.
Do I have to do an impression now?
You don't have to do it. You will have to do it if you lose this week, but I believe it's just Simon and I who need to do it.
Okay.
Do you want to? Yeah, I guess let's do it. In the chat, you decide what the impression is going to be, or Joey, you decide.
I'll let the chat. Let's let the chat decide.
Yeah, they got dirty last week with Gilbert Gottfried and Scooby Doo. That was a hard one to start
Who
with.
didn't never watch Scooby Doo, so he had no idea.
He just made whoop noises over and over again. Never said a word. Just full on set it in. I was trying to carry on a conversation with Scooby Doo, and Scooby Doo refused to talk to me.
Gilbert Gottfried would have been fun to do.
Hulk Hogan talking to Spoon Bob.
Spoon Bob. Joey would have to do Hulk Hogan. Or no, Joey's not playing. It's just me and JL. I don't know what Hulk Hogan sounds like, if we're being honest.
I don't think we can. Never mind. I'm going to be good.
I do know what SpongeBob talks like, but I don't know what he sounds like. We got Count Chocula from Keevan there. We got Dikembe Mutombo talking to Patrick Mahomes about things.
I'll do Patrick Mahomes.
I will not do Dikembe Mutombo. Just letting you know right now, that is not happening.
Let's do Patrick Mahomes talking to SpongeBob.
Okay.
That works.
And what are we talking about?
Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay. I'm Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
SpongeBob, will you pass me the gravy?
Patrick, did you do something different with your hair?
No, it's the same. I get the same haircut every day.
Didn't you mean ketchup? This is the worst SpongeBob I've ever done. I'm just going to try to get the laugh out there. This is humiliating.
You got a weird laugh, bro.
I can't do it. I literally can't do it. And now my mom's in there with the pity laugh, the ha ha ha.
So does Patrick Mahomes really sound like Kermit the Frog going through puberty? Is like that his voice?
That's 100%.
Okay.
Here's what we need to do, JL, in order to make this to the peak of its ability. I want people to get the best experience out of this. We need the impressions decided at least a day in advance.
Yeah.
So we can practice.
I need to do this in the mirror at least 3 times before we do it on air. Because
you don't need the mirror.
That was maybe like, I know the Chewbacca was bad and it was more shocking. Like, know what I mean? Like the Chewbacca was definitely more shocking to come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But the SpongeBob was worse. Like without a doubt, completely unrecognizable. Unrecognizable. Damn it. Is it Germanic or is it Latin? Dustin said Jail is doing a great Mahomes, very gridiron heights. Guys, let's get into our Monday Night Football prop draft. We've got our Monday Night Football prop draft. Joey, Jail, and I are looking at a list of all of the props for tonight's game. We're going to take turns drafting players, snake draft style. Available also is the spread. So it's -3 on the Bengals, +3 for the Browns, or you can take the total over under that as well. Currently sitting at 45, I believe. So feel free to draft whichever one you want. Joey, since you've never done this before with us, I'm going to let you pick whether you want to draft first, second, or third. It is snake draft style.
I'm going to go third. I want to swing.
He's taking the turn. Joey with the turn. Jail, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second.
Jail going to go second, and I will go first then, which means I've got the first pick. Man, I didn't want the first pick in this game. This one seems like a tricky one. I've got a couple that I was looking at, but I'm trying to play the game. Like, will this one get back to me? Will this one get back to me? Am I going to have this one come back to me? And I do not know. I think here's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with Donovan Peoples-Jones, 43.5 receiving yards. I know it's a high line for him, but I'm taking the over on Donovan Peoples-Jones, 43.5 receiving yards. I think with David Njoku out, he sees some extra work, and he's going to hit that. So Donovan Peoples-Jones over 43.5 receiving yards, the first pick of this draft. Jail, you're up next.
Over?
I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over on that.
All right, I'm up next, and I'm gonna do I'm gonna go in the receptions category here. I'm gonna take T. Higgins receptions, which is set at 5.5. I'm gonna take the over on that.
Ooh, that's a pretty high receptions line, but I'm with you, Jail. I like that one. I was considering it. But 6 receptions is a lot to call for from any player, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, but I think they're going to have to pass a lot tonight. And I think that T. Higgins with Jamar Chase out is going to be the main beneficiary of that.
I like both the picks so far. Dustin, and you're saying awesome pick, Simon. Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate it. Joey, it's up to you now. You got 2 picks back to back. Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna take 2 Browns props actually, which is kind of weird, but I like the receptions category. It feels like the one that I can predict the best. So I'm gonna go Amari Cooper over 4.5. That just seems like a lock. Like, really? Like 4.5? Like easy. I think he'll get 5 to 8 receptions tonight. And then actually Kareem Hunt 1.5 receptions. That just seems really, really low for someone that we know gets passing downs work for the Browns in a game they're gonna trail. So yeah, it's Kareem Hunt. Over 1.5 receptions and Amari Cooper over 4.5 receptions. Am I allowed to do that?
You can do that.
Okay.
It's a Monday night game. There's only one game we're picking from, right? So you can do that. The Kareem Hunt one I was hoping would sneak back to me, Joey.
Well, it didn't.
I was hoping that one would get back to me. That one seemed juicy. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
JL, you're back on the clock.
Should I delete
I'm back on the clock. All right, let's go with this is a bit of a deep cut. Actually, I'm not going to do this because I don't think you guys are going to take this. Let's go with Jacoby Brissett over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Over 1.5 passing touchdowns. You think Jacoby Brissett's going to get it done tonight against this Bengals defense?
Yeah, I think he is.
I hope so. I like Jacoby Brissett, but I was going to go a different way with my next pick. I've got 2 back-to-back here, and I was going to go with I'm going to take the Bengals. -3. I think they cover. I think the Bengals are going to cover this spread. I'll take the Bengals -3 as my next pick here.
That's a good pick.
Feeling good about it. It feels like it's starting to fall apart for the Browns. You know what I mean? Like beginning of the year, Jacoby Brissett was looking all right. Looked like maybe this team could sneak out like a 500 record while Deshaun Watson was out, but this team just hasn't looked very good the past couple weeks. I'm expecting the Bengals to continue the way they've been playing offensively recently, even without Jamar Chase, and stick it to the Browns tonight. So Bengals -3. That's my first pick. And man, what do I do next? This is tricky. If I'm going Bengals -3, then that probably means I'm going to take something on the other side, on that Bengals side of the ball as well. Man, but which way do I want to go here? There's so many good options in this offense. I'm going to go with Tyler Boyd over. You know what? We're going to have a little fun. We're going to go with Tyler Boyd, 23.5-yard longest reception. I'm going to say he gets loose for a big play, and we see Tyler Boyd with a play longer than 23.5 yards. So that is my last selection. Tyler Boyd, longest play, 23.5 yards, longest reception. And I'm taking the over. Which means
I think I messed up the tracking here. So we'll have to go back and track it, but that's all right.
As long as we get all the props that we picked in there, I can go back and assign them afterwards. Joe, you got the next pick. What's your next pick?
My next pick, let's go with the one that I didn't think anyone would do. I'm going to take the over on Samaje Perine, 23.5 total rushing and receiving yards. I think I'll have more than that, 23.5. 23.5
receiving yards for Samaje Perine?
Yeah.
That's what you're going with. Joey, what about you?
So I have 2 or just 1?
You have 1 now. This is your last pick.
I'm going to end it on Joe Mixon over 13.5 longest rush. I could see him breaking a big run tonight. So that seems fun too. I'm going to go with Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon over 13.5 longest rush. He hasn't been the pinnacle of efficiency, but his Browns defense hasn't looked very great.
Third most fantasy points to running backs currently.
There's our picks. A reminder, I had DPJ over 43.5 receiving yards, Bengals -3, and Tyler Boyd with the over on a 23.5-yard longest reception. JL, which picks did you add? You had T. Higgins 5.5 receptions with the over. You also had Jacoby Brissett over 1.5 pass touchdowns. And your last one was it a Samaje Perine one?
Samaje Perine, yeah. Over 23.5 total receiving and rushing yards.
Over 23.5. And then Joey, your 3 picks were T. Higgins over it's Kareem Hunt over 1.5 receptions. Amari Cooper over 4.5 receptions. And what was your last one?
It was Joe Mixon longest rush being over, I think it was 13.5 yards.
13.5 yards, longest rush for Joe Mixon. I like it. We'll see who comes out on top in this one. We'll have another impression bet to pay out after this game tonight. Joey, we may have to get you to call in or something at some point to pay out this impression bet. Unless you win. If you beat us, you can pull a coup, win, and then leave the country.
I mean, I'm going to win, but I'll call in.
Here we go. Coop in here said, back on the tour bus. How did I do on the props this week? Yeah, you won, Coop. You got all 3 right. 3 for 3. Nailed it. Perfect game. It was a walk-off. Just headed off to Europe after it. Hal wants to know, would you go Cincinnati minus 7.5 on the alternate line, or is that too rowdy? JL, would you be willing to take the alternate line, Cincinnati minus 7.5?
Cincinnati minus 7.5.
I'm going to pull up what the odds are for that right now. Usually you can get those alternate spread lines. I'm going to see if we what the payout is for that. But are you feeling that's possible?
It's possible for sure. I don't know if I'd take it.
So minus 7.5 is at minus 590 right now. Or no, plus 390. Sorry, it is plus 390 to bet on the Bengals minus 7.5. Or sorry, let me back that up. It is plus 390 to bet on the Browns minus 7.5. It is plus. It is minus 590 to bet on the Bengals at plus 7.5.
So, and the current spread's 3.5 points in favor of the Bengals. So it's essentially saying, are like doubling the spread, right? Will the Bengals cover the spread if it was doubled? I think it's possible. It'd be a fun bet. Would you guys take that?
I read that entirely wrong. I was looking at if you wanted to take the Bengals plus 7.5, that's why it was such a minus. I was like, these odds are not making sense. Like, what the hell is going on here? No, they're at plus 172 if you take the 7.5 point spread. And that makes a lot more sense, right? Some plus money if you're taking a bigger spread. I like it. I like it, Hal. I honestly do like that. I think the Bengals take care of business tonight. I don't think the Browns are going to be in this game. I don't think it's going to be a good game for the Browns.
Craig said if JL had 9 lives, he just spent them all.
On what?
I don't know. I'm terrified.
Oh, no. That's a line from Christmas Vacation.
Oh, I see.
When the cat eats the
yes,
the lights.
The lights on the Christmas tree.
Good job, Craig.
Nice one, Craig.
Coop says loser leaves town. Yeah, loser leaves town. Get out of here.
You're already out of the country, so look who the loser is now, Coop.
Yes, suck it, Coop.
Joy of Europe.
I don't know. What's the deepest you would be willing to go? Like Bengals favored. Like 7.5 seemed like that was close to the line. Would you take 14.5 at plus 350?
No. I like
that's too much. No,
7.5 is about where we're drawing the line. That's about where we leave it.
I could see them winning by 10, so maybe I would take 9.5, but
yeah. I'm not going too much further than that. Hal said 13.5. Yeah, does that 1 point change your mind, JL?
Nope.
What about 12.5? Maybe we just keep
now I'm interested.
Now you're interested. Also, Dustin down here said what was he saying about? He said unless Hunt gets traded. Awesome pick, Simon. Unless Hunt gets traded. Well, I doubt that happens before the game tonight, right? We're not going to see Kareem Hunt traded before the game plays. I guess that would ruin everything.
Probably not.
Also, House of Jail, why do you like your money so much?
Well, that's a good question. Because it buys me stuff.
Like what? What's the last thing your money bought you, Jail? I just don't believe you.
The last thing, you know what? I could tell you because I have alerts. The last thing my money bought me was a bowl for Maria that was like acai bowl and a smoothie for myself.
Wow, that's beautiful. What kind of smoothie?
Wild berry.
Oh, lame.
Something like that.
Absolutely lame. Guys, we are going to continue with the Halloween theming of today's episode. We got Cousin Eddie and the Easter Bunny here with a really lame guy who's wearing a spooky t-shirt. And we're going to give you our best Halloween candy player analogies. JL, you want to kick us off? You want to let us know? Well, JL, kick us off.
Great. Thanks. All right. Well, my first one is candy corn. Taysom Hill is candy corn. Everybody hates it, but it's all right. and a ton of unnecessary flair. Just everything about candy corn is unnecessary. It has all those colors, yet it like each color tastes the same. It doesn't really need all that. That's Taysom Hill.
God, candy corn's disgusting. Candy corn is so gross. So, Jail, I just that alone, candy corn and Taysom Hill give me the same visceral reaction whenever I see them. Like, just like, why? Like, you're not candy and you're not a tight end. Like both of those are true. Taysom Hill is not a tight end and candy corn is not candy. It's wax. It's colored wax. And of course, Jay likes candy corn in the chat. Said, watch your mouth about candy corn. Dustin likes candy corn as well.
So good.
Yeah, what the hell kind
Taysom
of
Hill,
candy corn
so
are you
good.
guys having? Man, it's just awful. Joey, you like candy corn?
I'm indifferent on candy corn. Like, I'm not reaching for it, but if it's there and I'm feeling fat, sure. Which, according to Jay, I have been feeling fat lately. So,
Joey, do you have one for us?
yeah, I'm gonna go with a Reese's cup, and Devin Singletary is a Reese's cup.
How so?
He's not our first choice. You're not even sure if you like it, but once you have it, you realize it's actually good and it satisfies exactly what you need. So that's Devin Singletary for me.
This feels like this was exactly your experience with Reese's Cups.
Very recently. Yeah. My daughter went trick-or-treating and she's like, Daddy, eat this candy. And I'm like, oh, it's a Reese's cup. I'm like, fine, I'm gonna, make my kid happy because that's apparently what parents are supposed to do. And ate the Reese's cup, and I said some really horrible things about Reese's cups last week. But it was actually pretty good.
It was actually pretty good. I like that. It's pretty personal candy anecdote, but it's a candy anecdote that works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The shaped Reese's cups are better than the cup ones. I think we talked about this on stream last week.
It was like a little one.
It was a little one.
Yeah.
Coop was bringing up that the ratio is just so much better on the ones that are shaped like pumpkins. Like it's just a better ratio. I think that was Coop who brought that up. Coop has one for us before we move on. He said Latavius Murray and Kenyon Drake are milk duds. They just get stuck in your teeth / backfield and won't go away. Super annoying. That's a great one, Coop. That's 100% a great one. And Hal said candy corn is good if you got a bottle rocket up your nose as a kid. What?
It's very specific.
I just anchormaned that. I did not read that before I said it out loud, and then those words confused me. Candy corn is good if you got a bottle rocket up your nose as a kid.
What are you
it burnt
saying?
all of your senses.
Oh, he said you can't taste anything anymore.
That is
I thought the candy corn was solving the problem of removing the bottle rocket, Hal.
I thought he was saying like it's for old people.
Jay says Zach Wilson is like black licorice because he sucks and nobody likes him except your mom. So,
and my dad likes black licorice. My dad likes salted licorice. Have you guys ever had salted licorice?
No. Why would I ever have that?
It's a popular candy in the Netherlands. It's covered in salt. It's black licorice covered in salt.
That sounds like your favorite. Now, is this a Netherlands thing, Simon? Is that why you're so salty all the time?
I don't know. I do like salt.
I feel like Simon's the type of person that's had like a herring dipped in spearmint because it's good in the Netherlands. Yeah.
Herring dipped in spearmint.
When I was 12, I was in the Netherlands and I was a really picky eater as a kid. Now, I'll try anything. I'm not saying I love all foods, but I'll try anything. I'm open to trying it. I ate chicken feet when I was in China. If you put it in front of me, I'm going to eat it. I've eaten cow intestines, whatever you put in front of me, I'll eat it now. But when I was a kid, that was not the case. I ate pretty much cheese and grapes, and that was my entire diet. Throw some applesauce in there if I was feeling really saucy. But I was in the Netherlands with my dad, and we go, and he offers me a PSP to eat a raw herring, the entire fish.
A PSP, a PlayStation Portable?
A PSP, and this is when PSPs were hot, okay?
Dude,
I'm a child, and I was like, without a doubt, Dad, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then he put that fish in front of me, and I was like, I didn't even really want a PSP. PSPs suck anyways. I'm a Nintendo guy. I could not eat that fish. Now I would do it, but they literally just take the fish, chop the head off, serve it with some relish and onions, and then you're supposed to just take the whole fish and put it in your mouth, pull the meat off.
Can we talk about
you're a sea lion?
Anything
What's going on?
So my next candy comparison is a raw herring from the Netherlands. I'm just kidding. No.
Think about that from your dad's perspective. He's like, yeah, I just want to watch my kid eat this disgusting thing, and I want to see it so bad. I'm willing to buy him a video game console.
I think it was more like, God, my kid literally only eats freaking grapes and applesauce. Really, for the love of God, try something else. I'll buy you a PSP if you'll do it. Like, just like, come on, like shock factor. Or, you know what? There probably was the comedy element to it. I feel like parents need to get their kicks somehow, right?
Yeah. Like my kid woke me at 4:00 this morning. Like I can't I had to be creative in the ways that I see her suffer because like legal reasons. So like watching my kid eat something that's disgusting is quite enjoyable. So
I get it. Like a baby asks for a lemon and you hand it to him just to see their reaction. I feel like it's
hilarious.
The same thing.
Who needs enamel on your teeth? Eat that lemon.
It's the same thing. My dad trying to get me to a raw herring is the TikTok videos you see of the baby with a lemon that they demanded on having. For real, my first one though, I'm gonna go with Sour Patch Kids. This one's an easy one, but I'm gonna put Justin Fields as a Sour Patch Kid. First he's sour, then he's sweet. It was a rough start. He wasn't better than QB 23 through the first 4 weeks of the season, but he's been QB 13 or better over the past 4 weeks. He's real sweet right now. Justin Fields is my little Sour Patch Kid. I still liked him even when he was sour, but now it's nice that he's sweet. We're to the good part.
I disagree completely. Justin Fields is not good enough to be Sour Patch Kids.
Hey,
they're so good. They're the best candy.
First he was sour and then he was sweet. What else do you want? And
I know, but I don't even agree with that slogan. I think that's dumb. They're always sour.
I could totally see him
eat them before
in
they
a
get
Sour
sweet.
Patch Kid commercial, just like holding someone's ponytail and a pair of scissors. Like I can picture Justin Fields in the Sour Patch Kids commercial.
Why is that the one we all remember? They played it way too much.
That one was brutal. Also, Dustin said, can we all agree that Sour Patch watermelons are better than Sour Patch Kids?
You don't need to rank them. They're both good. They're both excellent.
Dustin, my girlfriend would agree with you wholeheartedly. That is her number one favorite candy of all time. I prefer the kids, though. I want a little variety. You know what I mean? I don't want them all to be watermelon flavored.
Yeah, I like both.
JL, you got another candy analogy for us?
I do. It's Airheads, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts are Airheads. You guys know why?
No idea.
Because Jalen Hurts does not miss. Even the mystery flavor slaps every single time. Airheads are delicious. Jalen Hurts, delicious. Top 3 QB. Let's go.
Because they don't miss. That's the connection. I like it. And you know what? There is that mystery flavor. I feel like there was a little bit of that mystery going into this season, right? Everyone remembers the Airheads mystery flavor. Before you bite into that Airheads mystery, you are confident that it's going to be good, right? You're like, every Airhead I've had leading up to this has been great. This one's probably going to be great also. I don't care what the flavor is. And with the Eagles, we watched their offseason moves all offseason, right? We were like, it's looking pretty good. Like they were good last year, and every move they're making looks pretty good. And then lo and behold, here we go. It turned out. I like that one, JL.
Thank you.
What's your favorite flavor of Airhead?
Mystery. I just said it. For the longest time, I thought mystery was a flavor itself. I didn't realize that they switch it. I'm still not convinced. Someone told me that they switch it every time. Every pack is a different, like one of the flavors put as a mystery. I don't agree.
So we got Scott Fish in here with some Reese's slander. Said Elijah Moore is a Reese's peanut butter cup. A lot of people love him, but then you realize he puts up 0 fantasy points and is a terrible fantasy asset, just like peanut butter cups are a terrible candy.
Damn, bro.
Scott woke up feisty.
Yeah.
He woke up ready to fight Elijah Moore. He had an Elijah Moore nightmare last night or something.
Dude, Elijah Moore.
Scott, I was at Spirit Halloween and I thought of you because there was a pickle costume and I was going to wear it and be the most terrifying thing I could think of just for you. But then I was like, I don't want to spend $40 on a joke for Scott Fish.
You should have.
Some of those costumes get absolutely wild, though. Some of those costumes are just a little bit too over the top. Also, Jay saying, I will not take the Reese's slander. Reese's is the 101.
I don't think any of you are spelling Reese's right, by the way.
Fat Boy here said something nice about Reese's, Jay. You need to calm down. Like, they're not 101. They're like, I said something mean last week about them, and I had one. I was like, it's not so bad.
Also, Craig said, I've learned one thing from FYF shows. It's that Scott Fish and I should never go out to eat because we have completely opposite food tastes. They've been opposite on every single food take so far. So Craig and Scott, you guys could order different things off the menu. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to order the same. you can just eat your meat. Like I don't eat meat, but it's not like I can't go out to have a nice meal with non-vegetarians.
Can we Jail, you corrected their spelling. But I want to hear if you are saying that candy, how do you say it?
Reese's Pieces.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I freaking knew it. I was like, is he the guy? Is he the one who always says it like that? And
I
then
think Josh and I both said it like that as a kid.
Reese's Pieces. No, it's Reese's. They are Reese's Pieces. It rhymes. They're supposed to rhyme.
Run up to like little kids and be like, no, say it right. It's not Reese's Pieces.
But you're not a kid anymore, JL. Now you're an adult. Now you're an adult.
Have you seen what I do for a living?
You do have bunny ears on right now.
I have bunny ears on at work.
And we just filled out a Mad Lib.
About horny Halloween.
Okay, back to the adult side. That's a point on the I'm an adult side, JL. Oh, look at that sexy man. Bobbing for linemen. There's Jaguars, slutty nurses.
Wow. Wow, she's really bobbing for that lineman. Where did you get that photo from, Keith?
Talk about our work. That's Keith's full-time job.
Wow.
Who was making that?
Also,
I don't think there was a lineman in her. Never mind.
Also, my doctor's currently wearing a 4.5 foot long white wig, dressed as a warlock at work.
I respect the hell out of that doctor.
You walk in and your doctor is just full on magician, like just like actual magician in the office. Oh my God, that's great. Also, Jason, what the hell was that? Yeah, if you weren't here for the Mad Lib, that might not have made sense. And if you were here for the Mad Lib, it probably still didn't make complete sense. But at least you had some context for that one right there.
I got to bond with Keith over the weekend. We both watched a movie together. Not together, but we were watching at the same time, and we had a nice little conversation about it. So I'm on pro. I'm pro
hold
producer.
Hands? You're pro Keith?
As close as you can get to holding hands through a Discord conversation. Yes, we held hands.
That's hot. You and Keith, Joey and Keith watching a movie.
Hey, everybody watch Barbarian tonight. It's really spooky.
Oh, that's the movie you texted me about. That is that the movie you watched with Keith?
Yeah, we watched it on Friday night, pretty much at the same time. I think.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check it out. Joey, do you have another candy analogy for us?
I do. Well, I don't know why I went to that level, but here I am. King Henry is a king size Three Musketeers.
Hey.
Simple ingredients, like it's chocolate and nougat, just two things, but that's all you need.
Is he as light as a Three Musketeer?
No, that's why it's a king size, because it's big.
That's why it's the big
Derrick
one. I got
a
you.
large man. You always know what you're going to get. Yards and touchdowns. The man just that's all he has. That's all he does. That's all you need him to do. He's incredible at it. Satisfies every time. King Henry, king size Three Musketeers.
I like it. I like it. It's not fancy. Right? It's not fancy. He's not going to be like this crazy guy in the receiving game, even though he got a little more involved this year, but he's going to get it done. It's always going to do the job. I love a Three Musketeers. I feel like that's a candy that as you get older, it gets better. Like there's a couple candies like Snickers and Three Musketeers. Like as you age, I think like by the time you have a child, Snickers has to be your favorite candy. I'm almost positive of it, right?
Snickers are bleh.
Not bleh.
They're fine. They're fine. They're
well,
nothing
just
special.
wait till you have a child. Also, I saw Scott Fish in here come in saying there was one giant plot hole, but otherwise I thought it was pretty good. I thought he was talking about our Mad Lib.
Same.
Oh, he's talking about
Before
Barbarian.
I scrolled up, yeah, he's talking about Barbarian. But overall, I thought it was really good.
Don't watch a trailer any if you're gonna watch it. Just go in blind. Know that it's kind of gross. So just that's all you need to know. But it's really well done, and I would love to talk to anybody about it once they watch it.
Joey,
call me on the phone. Movies. I've got one of those phones, got the cord, and I can wrap it around my finger and like kick my heels up.
The rotary.
Mm-hmm.
Joey gets flirtatious when you talk about movies. If you wanna see flirty Joey, just bring up a movie and be like, hey, you want to talk about it? A film. Sorry, my bad. Guys, I got another one for you. Here's my second candy comp. DeAndre Hopkins is a giant pixie stick. One of the big ones in the plastic tube. You know what I'm talking about? It's got like the staple on the top that you have to rip off. And the reason is this offense looks like someone just poured a gallon of sugar into everybody's drink and got them hyped up with DeAndre Hopkins coming back, right? DeAndre Hopkins was the pound of sugar that comes in a giant pixie stick that's giving Kyler Murray the sugar rush right now and allowing him to play well. Like DeAndre Hopkins is the sugar rush for this team. This offense is a different beast without him in there. And that giant pixie stick is about as sugar rush as you can get from candy. It doesn't get any more sugar than that. It's just a tube of sugar. That's it. That's
I like that one. I like that one. I like that one.
It's less about the candy itself and more about like the utility of the candy, right?
Yeah. He just got like a pixie stick vibe too. You know what I mean?
He does. I could see him like on the sideline, just ripping open some of the paper ones, throwing them back, jumping out there on the field.
Remember
In case you
Marshawn
missed it,
Lynch?
that was-
Just handfuls of Skittles on the sideline.
Oh yeah.
That was cool.
Badass. Have I ever told you guys about some people just love Skittles. I think Skittles have like a more cult following than any other candy. There was a kid at my high school, 14 years old, stole his parents' car to drive to the gas station and ran straight into the gas station. And whenever they asked him about it afterwards, he said he was just trying to go get some Skittles. Like that was his reasoning. That was all the reasoning he gave, all the remorse he gave. He was like, the thing he was most upset about was that he didn't get his Skittles because he crashed his car into the gas station.
Damn, bro.
He went by Skittles for the rest of high school, as you can imagine. After ramming your car in there, getting it on the news, there's a car in the Chevron up the street. Like, it was pretty brutal. And he was not as good at football as Marshawn Lynch, so I don't think it was as cute that he loved Skittles. Wasn't as cute. You have another one for us, another candy analogy, JL?
I got one last one. Tyreek Hill is nerds. It's delicious. He's sweet. It's crunchy. And he's way more fun to eat all at once. Tyreek Hill, when you get a nice Tyreek Hill game, you're opening that box and you're pouring it straight down your gullet.
The imagery in that one was just beautiful, JL. No, I'm with you though. It doesn't matter how big the box of Nerds is. The temptation is to shove the whole thing in my mouth. And I feel like Tyreek Hill has games like that, like 180 receiving yards. That's a whole box of Nerds down the gullet. Like when it rains, it pours.
Exactly.
What are Nerds?
People that went to Clemson. Hi-oh! All
right.
Hey, all right. Having fun in the morning show.
What are Nerds made of?
Merds.
What are nerds made of?
What are nerds made of?
Murder. Nerds are made of murder. They should make murder nerds.
Murder nerds.
It feels like Bill Knife, the murder guy, was 3 days ago, jail.
That seemed like forever ago. Bill Knife, the murder guy.
I dropped my kid off this morning and I turned my car on, and that's the first thing I heard was Bill Nye, the murder guy. I was like, what the hell are they talking about?
It's Halloween. Also, Hallen with the real answer says it's cornstarch and sugar. That's what nerds are. And a little bit of food coloring. Are the flavors actually different, or are the flavors exactly the same?
No matter no idea, because I've always just poured it straight into my mouth. I've never thought about it.
I've never done a flavor comparison with Nerds because they're gone in like 0.2 seconds. Joey, do you have another candy comparison for us? One more?
I got one more. I got the Boomer Bust candy of them all, the Starburst. You've got red and pink, which are listen.
Okay,
hear
sorry.
me out.
My bad.
You've got the red and pink, which are amazing. Some of the best candy there is. But then you have disgusting yellow, which makes you question your life decisions. Of course, I'm talking about Mecole Hardman for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's either boom or bust. You're either getting 0 or you're getting 100.
So I'm calm down.
I've never met anyone who doesn't like yellow Starburst. Not a single person in the
Jill,
world.
I've met lots of people who don't like yellow Starburst.
Here's one right here.
They are wrong, but I think we're in the minority liking yellow Starburst, but I don't understand why. Joey, your reasoning, I like your reasoning. You have the flavors wrong. I'm going to ignore that for a second, but I like your reasoning. He is very boomer bust, just like different Starburst flavors are very boomer bust. 100%. Red is the worst by far. It tastes like cherry medicine. It is not good. Artificial cherry flavor is a bad flavor, and they did a bad job with it. It goes yellow, orange, pink, red. That is the
Why is
order.
orange so high?
Orange potentially could be first. Orange and yellow are like a 1A, 1B scenario.
Orange and red are functionally the same. It's yellow and pink, and that's the obvious choice. Everybody knows that.
I knew when the footballers called me, I should have taken that job and not this one.
Go. We don't even want you.
Also, Coop said Simon burying the lead here. Pink third. Pink is great. It's just like Tyler Boyd's the third receiving option on his team. I still like Tyler Boyd, but he's the third best one behind Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, just like the Pink Starburst is the third
pink,
best.
Orange, and yellow, right?
I mean, those are the 4 colors, but that's the wrong order. That is the wrong order for sure. Also, Scott Fishing, saying, I gave Simon my phone number. He said he would text me later with his, so I have it. That was 11,486 minutes ago. Scott, I'm just waiting for the 11,500th minute.
I was about to start singing Red.
Simon, is there a text message that you can go back to and get us a timestamp? So
there is a DM I can go back to with the message to get a timestamp to verify. I'm going to have to scroll back a bit because it was over 11,000 minutes ago.
It was. Let me know
we're
the
gonna have
date.
to
I'll
find this.
enter it in. We'll find.
October 22nd, 8:36 a.m. is when that
October
message was sent.
22nd last year?
What?
October 22nd last year?
No, to this year.
Oh, that's like a few days ago.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of minutes in a day, JL.
Oh, okay, I see. There's 12,960 minutes since that day.
Oh, shoot.
So, but you probably didn't do it right at the beginning of the day. It's probably middle of the day. So he's probably right.
Daylights.
Right on. Okay. We're just waiting until 15,000 minutes, Scott. That's the last one. Once we hit 15,000 minutes, then I will let you in.
I so want to sing Seasons of Love from Rent because you guys just keep talking about how many minutes measure things.
Damn it, Joey. Now that song is going to be stuck in my head the remainder of the day. God.
Welcome to my brain the last 25 years. Thank you, John.
No singing on the show.
We're going to get kicked off the air for singing Rent over here. Excuse me.
12,988 minutes.
12,988 minutes. How do you measure the time that Simon's ignored Scott?
Keith in our chat says Tom Brady is a pot brownie. He felt fine for the first 20 minutes, so he decided to have the rest of the brownie, and now he's having the worst time of his life. He wishes he just smoked Todd Bowles.
Wish he just smoked Bowles instead.
Well done, Keith.
Oh, Keith, that one's absolutely incredible. Tom Brady, you're right. He bit off more than he could chew this year, and now he's sitting there going, "Oh no." Oh,
and
no.
Keith wins the game.
What have I done? Yeah, I don't even want to give another one, Keith. That is absolutely incredible. Hal said Keith is on a heater. OMG, that's fire, Keith.
I've got
that
a
is
heater.
Absolutely fire.
We got a question from Tristan here. Thoughts on Leonard Fournette rest of the season? What do you think, Mr. Joey, the Buccaneers resident fan here?
Yeah, like I was hoping that we would see Rachaad White get a little bit more work the last few weeks. So it's starting to be a little bit of a shift with them, almost not 50-50, but like maybe 60-40. But I think they're going to let Fournette finish the year out as the lead back there for sure.
What about you, Simon?
I'm with Joey. Rachaad White may get a little bit more work, but it's Fournette's backfield. Everyone who tuned in this morning with us, thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Halloween morning. It's been an absolute blast. We will be back tomorrow from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time with more Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. A reminder, everybody, Bettor Sports Network is giving away a Bryce Harper signed baseball today. You just got to go to their Twitter page, like and retweet the post, and have the Bettor Sports Network app downloaded. And they're going to reveal the winner tonight on Bettor Sports Live at 9 p.m. Eastern time with Rick Kamala. But there's a whole day of killer programming before that. Right after this, we got Moose and Keith coming up, followed by Lunch Money presented by Fantasy Guru. And then Corey, Nando, and friends on after that, where they'll answer all of your tough questions. That's going to be it for us this morning, though. Thank you, everybody, one more time. We'll see you tomorrow, and be safe on this Halloween. Adios, everyone.
Halloween.